Lord, take me on out of this town. Well, that woman I'm in love with, Lord, she's Memphis bound. Well, leave it here. I'm just a raggedy hobo. Lord, I'm leaving here. I'm just a raggedy hobo. Well, that woman I'm in love with, Lord, she's got to go. Get yourself a money man. Goodbye, mama. Lord, get yourself a money man. You take that midnight train to Memphis. Lord, leave if you can. Oh, take that midnight train to Memphis. Lord, leave if you can. Oh, take it.
Welcome to the Split Line Off-Road Podcast.
Brought to you by Magna One Motorsports.
Are you ready to go GNCC Racing?
Look at these guys. Oh, boy, we got it wheel to wheel right here. String. Oh, and Stu Baylor right behind him.
Russell going to try to dive bomb down to the inside. No, can't get the line he wants.
National champion Jordan Ashford.
I appreciate it, man.
The Split Line Off-Road Podcast.
From Magna One Motorsports. Here's your host, Rodney Cooper, and co-host Brandon Whitehair.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Split Line Off-Road Podcast. I'm your host, Rodney Cooper. Today, how do I say it usually?
Oh my gosh.
With me as always.
Pretty well here, guys. I'm not going to be like him and mess this up, so we're all good now. Lies.
Episode 121 coming at you. We are ready to go and talk about some summertime. It feels like summertime up here, doesn't it?
Dude, it is.
It's warm.
It is hot.
It's hot up here.
We're in Hades right now.
It is episode 121, and we are pumped to be talking some racing. And we'll be talking with none other than the Sunstar Chain and Sprocket man himself, Doug Kirik. Well, Doug, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. Just enjoying this hot weather.
Yeah.
It was in triple digits when I came over the mountain from Ohio.
And it's triple digits right here in the studio right
It
now.
is more
sure.
than
The
triple
AC
digits.
is on. It wasn't working a little bit ago, but it's working now. Hopefully it'll cool down so we can have some intelligent conversations here in just a little bit.
You know, like you ever watch the ice box like conversations with like Kevin Hart where they sit down in the ice
Yeah.
tub?
Sonic conversations.
We're the opposite. We bring you in, we put you in the hot seat, we put you in the hot box, and we talk.
Doug is in the hot seat today.
He is.
Yeah.
Literally.
It
Yeah.
feels like the
That's
That's-
that's a
That'll make a man out of you.
that'll make a man out of you. For sure. And so it's tonight.
And we also have producer
Right.
Devin Masters on the keys. What's up, Devin?
What's up, guys? How's everyone doing tonight?
We're doing good.
Yeah.
We're doing good.
Sweating.
Usually he's never here whenever I come out.
Oh, so yeah.
He always finds an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, he messaged me before this all came up and said, "Hey, this day I'm going to be here. Let's make this
Right.
happen."
I think I hit all you guys up like individually at the same time.
Will
I
you
think.
be here?
Yeah.
Yes, we will. We will be here.
Yeah.
We will be going on a break next week, though, right, Brandon?
Are we? Is it next week?
Is it next week? I think next week.
Okay.
I think we're going to break next week.
The week after that, I'm definitely not going to be here.
Oh, so maybe we should do an episode next week.
That's up to you.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
First and foremost, we got to thank our awesome sponsors. We have to thank Magna One Racing, MagnaOneMotorsports.com. Make sure you check them out for all of your used bike needs, for your helmet, goggles, gear, and more. Make sure you check them out. If you need something desperately at the trackside, also just go to them and visit them. They'll be able to hook you up with anything you need trackside. And while you're there, make sure you pick up some Magna One Clean It. Magna One Clean It is a revolutionary cleaning product that will take care of your dirt bike, mountain bike, ATV, trailer, camper, truck, anything you take to the racetrack.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
Spray it on everything.
Just spray it on everything.
Right.
Make it nice and clean. We also got to thank Guts Racing. Guts has been in the business since 1985, providing the top of the line seat covers. If you want to hook your booty to a seat and stay on the track, like any of the top pros, like Bryson Neal, like Joel Hetrick, like Thad Duvall, Craig DeLong, those guys trust Guts. You guys should trust Guts. And I'm telling you what, guys, you can't get a better seat cover. I have it on my bike. Brandon, you have it on your bike. And what about you guys?
No.
I have a quad tech on the 4-wheeler and Enduro Engineering.
You're missing out
on the 300.
I can tell you what I'll be racing this weekend.
Will you have one on your bike this weekend?
I will.
That means the Suzuki's coming out.
That is exactly what that means.
Seal savers on my mountain bike, and I know that when I go riding and I get the bike muddy, take that seal saver off. Looks nice and clean underneath. The forks stay nice and protected. My ATV has them on all the coils, and it's nice and clean all the time.
Yeah,
because it stays in the garage.
It stays in the garage. I believe it.
Well, go over the track.
I bet he didn't use his start button.
No.
Got an electric start still in it.
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
I was going to say this Honda
That's
guys.
more of a problem than what we talked about, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
It's more of a problem than
It shouldn't be the stator.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Who knows?
Anyways.
Who knows? Yep.
We also got to think Sunstar chain and sprockets.
I believe everybody in here runs those. Right?
Everybody in here definitely runs Sunstar chain and sprockets. Doug, what are those things made of?
Case hardened steel.
Baby.
If you wanted to finish snowshoe, if you want to finish Florida, if you want to finish Georgia GNCC, all the toughest conditions, make sure you get on the Sunstar program. I'm telling you what, you guys, if you aren't, you're missing out. Me. Trust literally the entire XC1 line, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I think 10 out of the 13.
10 out of the 13.
Yeah.
That's a passing grade.
That's on quads, yes.
That's on quads.
Yeah.
The vast majority of all of the Saturday races were spread out through all of them.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. That's
awesome.
On
Sunday.
That's awesome. And you guys really do a lot in testing too. To make sure that what you're putting on these guys' bikes will actually make it to the finish line.
Oh yeah. That's there's nothing that comes out that doesn't go on one of my bikes.
Yeah.
First for bunch of hours.
More hours than what the riders probably run them on.
Oh yeah.
Probably twice Also got to thank Mountain State Hair Scramble Series. If you guys want a awesome local hair scramble series, make sure you check out the Mountain State Hair Scramble Series. Provide awesome tracks, tight technical stuff that will get you ready for any GNCC, for any condition that you're going to race in. And it's run by a awesome family. Richie Nolan and the gang will hook you guys up. And if you're needing some like summertime practice before September rolls around and you're back at GNCC racing, make sure you get on it.
Yep, this weekend at Pleasant Creek Raceway. And I'm also believing they are doing an amateur payback. I'm not sure if it's cash or if they're giving out like some kind of money somehow, but
nice.
I know this weekend they were advertising that it is a amateur payback. So not sure. Check it out if you're interested. Look at their Facebook or website.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So
Pretty sure, Richie's a Sunstar guy too.
Yeah, Richie is.
Richie definitely is a Sunstar guy.
Years.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a good guy. Good family.
Yeah. Very good family. Yep.
Yep.
Should have brought your quad down and raced. You little guy.
I know. We did a lot of racing this weekend.
Did you?
They had the Ohio Youth Days, and that was really awesome. It's just a day GP hair scramble rodeo dedicated to only youth.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it was a lot of fun. They got plenty of riding in where they were like, I'm sore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's ride.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of riding, Brandon,
I finally got out and raced.
He's finally got out and raced. I see some road rash.
Road rash. A little on this side, and yeah, man, we had some fun. What was that?
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Somebody's yelling at us.
Somebody's yelling. It was a great weekend actually. Besides me crashing and getting hurt, Colton rode good. Jonathan rode good. Dan rode good. We went off the fast tracks, and for the first time, I got the race this year. So
fast tracks is a fun place.
Oh, dude, it's a blast. And speaking of fast tracks, that's next weekend, Sunstar Ride Day.
Yeah, the 15th. So not this coming one, but a week from Saturday.
Not this weekend, but not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Sunstar Ride Day at Fast Tracks.
I'll be there. Brandon, will you be there?
That's the plan.
Good deal.
I'm hoping.
Devin's
got a birthday party.
I know. I just wanted to put him on the spot.
Oh, okay.
Bring the birthday party to the racetrack.
That's right.
I can't. He wanted a basketball party.
Someone's doing something wrong in that household.
I'm pretty sure my middle kid's he's going to be pretty wild on a. I don't know if he wants 4-wheeler or dirt bikes yet, but whatever he picks, it's going to be pretty wild.
It's going to be pretty wild.
Yeah.
Just run both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could if we get somebody to bring the funds for it.
That's
I feel that.
Yes. Yes, the
both
fun.
kids race is rough.
Right. Now, actually, I was surprised. I actually took 11th out of like 20, I think, in B class, and
Nice.
And I wasn't like I thought I got dead last. That's how bad I rode.
That's usually how I feel.
But-
I'll come through and I'll be like, wow, people are actually coming in behind me. That's crazy.
Right. So like,
What happened to you guys?
I was battling really tough, and then I came into like a blind corner, and there was a big old rut first lap around. Caught me off guard because I was in second line, and just blew right over it, fell down, and then open class caught me. Those freaking guys were just hauling, and and I just kind of settled in and didn't even want to look at it because I was like, dude, that was terrible. That was real bad. I was like, oh, I took 11th. Not bad.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby in B class. You know?
Yeah.
Heavy B.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so-
That's fast tracks is hard too because a lot of those guys ride it every weekend.
Oh,
They
yeah.
know the track
They-
like the back
they-
of their hand.
Track and it's just fast paced. There's no brakes. There's nothing that's going to slow you down besides some ruts and some turns, and
Oh yeah.
it's very good. I love it. And then vet class, man, I was running second place. This was a bummer. And when I got that, and was in vet class plus 30, and I was catching first, and way goes. But all in all, we're here, we're walking, we're working.
So are we going to ride the quad anytime soon?
Well, I was talking to Devin, and maybe.
I got you something in the car.
See, he's got me something in the car.
That's what he said last time too.
He did say that last time.
All right. So nobody knows.
Did you lay eyes on it in the car, like prior or post getting out of the car?
I put it in the vehicle as I was leaving.
Okay.
He's gonna open it up like,
What,
who the hell just took that
somebody took
No.
it out of there.
Dude, listen, when I got home, nobody knows where that part went.
out?
It's just mysteriously gone.
There you go.
So I made amends by just bringing the whole tank and everything.
There you go. He's gonna give me his whole tank to use while his Yamaha's down.
Yeah.
So, make sure it's my problem.
So that should help him figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. So Doug, let's talk a little bit about the ride day. It looking like Fast Tracks is an awesome place to begin with, and I'm super excited to get out there. What can we expect for that day?
So we got a lot. It's turning out to be a lot more than what I had originally kind of thought. It took off.
Good.
So if you don't,
you played it at the right time of the year.
We tried to. I went through and I looked at all the local series. I tried to stay away from as many of the camps as I possibly could. Looked at the Ohio series, the PA, West Virginia, and it really was it was that weekend, or I would have to split a weekend with the 9 hour. And I was like, I'm not doing that because I want to go to the 9 hour.
Yeah.
So we called Norm over there at Fast Tracks, and he was like, yeah, we don't have anything planned. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm looking at your schedule. That's why I'm calling. And it just kind of worked out. And luckily we have a great group of guys that we sponsor in some of the upper classes. So like Josh Toth sent some autograph stuff that we'll have there to get auctioned off. We'll have pretty much the whole XC1 quad guys, a lot of our bike guys. I think Rock River Factory Yamaha is supposed to be sending some stuff. Some guys from Works are sending some stuff. It's just a whole bunch. Every time I go back to the loading dock, there's just more and more box of stuff.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty fun.
So tell everybody what the funds are that you're receiving for.
So I'm sure a lot of you guys on the show know that I do run GNCC. My kids run GNCC. All my friends and their kids run GNCC and Sprint Enduro. So I was talking to Dr. Tanner just after your guys' show with him. I actually hit up Rodney and I was like, hey, I need Dr. Tanner's information because I was planning on just making like a contribution or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I brought it up in one of our meetings, like maybe we should have a ride day someday. Nobody ever does ride days. And then I was like, well, I know this one 501c3 that actually does a lot of really good work at the races. Mm-hmm. I was like, there's not a lot of 501c3s that directly impact us as racers, you know. We were thinking like Road to Recovery, but that's mostly like your pro card holders and stuff like that. I was like, why not go after the amateur guys, you know? And then I started talking to Dr. Tanner and all that stuff and seeing what they do week to week, walking by their camper and everything like that. Like they're dedicated to it.
Yeah.
So if they're going to be dedicated to it, I'm going to get behind them as best I can.
That's awesome.
So everything, like every penny that we make that day is going to those guys.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great cause. And like when we talk to them, it's so crazy that like something like that I feel like it's a necessity, right?
Right.
Brandon. And like it's just now like really becoming like a staple in the sport.
Yeah.
When I was up on top of Snowshoe Mountain, I heard them talking about it and advertising it over the broadcast. And I just think it's an awesome, it's a great thing to help keep our riders safe and to help with cost too. That seems to be what they're a lot of what they're about.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, an ER visit, most of the time copays are like $400 or $500. And it could just be something that they can take care of, or an ambulance ride, something maybe they can kind of cut down on that a little bit. And
the old helicopter, that is not a cheap date.
No.
And think of how many times some guys wreck out in the, like, you're not going, even us as C-class guys are not going slow in those woods.
No.
You know? So it's,
and most of the time C-class guys don't aren't quite as flexible either. So
no, I'm old and fluffy. Flexible is not the right F word I would use to describe myself. So it's and I mean, like I said, being there, they've helped out a handful of my friends' kids. You know, like the Hickeys messed themselves up over at Mason-Dixon. Chance Hickey did. Dr. Tanner was right there with his crew. David Hawkins' boy, Damien, he broke his thumb or his wrist or something like that. They were right there to help him.
Yeah.
Old boy at the Penton right off the start that smacked the tree on the bike. Like he was right there. Like they're all, so I mean, how can you not get behind guys like that? You know?
Right.
like it's good to say hi when you're walking by, but it's one of those organizations that you never want to like meet them in the woods,
Right.
you know. So
Right.
it's and honestly, if the companies that do go to the races with us too, that are helping back us, like Muck Off, Kenda, Logan Huff with Fastco, when I called him, he's like 100% down. You know,
Yeah.
Drew with Kenda was the same way, 100% down. You know, like companies like that really went above and beyond to try to help us out, you know, help us help them, because we're all racers too, you know.
Right.
Like I want somebody that actually knows what they're doing when I get in
Yeah.
a wreck. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah.
And it's nothing against like the mud fleas and stuff. Like when somebody gets hurt, man.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
you need proper help by the
Right.
proper people.
Oh yeah.
And whenever you're whenever you were talking to those guys, just to hear like the excitement in their voice to be able to do something like
Oh, yeah.
that, the excitement about being on the bike, being out there, and being able to be on the scene almost immediately when something's going on, and you know, these guys are kind of newer to the scene, but once they kind of get the lay of the land with these tracks under their belt, they're going to be able to get to these guys quicker and
yeah.
quicker. They're going to probably know, like, okay, if I need to go from the if I'm at the 4 mile marker, I need to get to the 7. Like,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
the fastest route to get there?
And that's where guys like Bolton and Echols,
Yeah.
stuff like that, like that SOS team being all volunteer, like they still need guys that are proficient in the medical professions, but have the ability to ride a dirt bike to help them out. You know, they can't have the same guy beating their crap up week in and week out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so I mean, if you guys are a medical professional and you know how to ride a bike without hurting yourself, like get a hold of them, you know, volunteer to come out here and help. You know, it's when I'm done racing, if SOS is still around, I'll go out there. You know, I know just enough to keep myself from getting hurt, you
Right.
know. So
Right.
it's and I do have a small background in medical stuff too, but it's racing, and with the kids racing, I have to wait until
It's a lot.
until one of them is. I'm already doing a lot of laps.
It seems like a really rewarding part as
Right.
well too. You know, I mean, you get to ride,
Mhm.
you get to be out there, you get to, you know, if you have a great day, then you don't have to help anybody, and you get to just watch really cool racing and ride around on the bike and trail
Yeah,
people.
ride around on the track.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And it's
And that's a great day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the day that you're hoping for as one of these guys.
Right.
and it's one thing. I've grown up racing my whole life, right? And one thing that I do know about the racing community is when somebody does need help, like everybody's there.
Everybody's
You know
there.
what I mean? So
Oh, yeah.
it's great for our sport. You know, they're just hurting for volunteers is really the big thing, and funds. Dr. Tanner's been paying for pretty much all of it out of his own pocket.
Yeah.
So it's hopefully we can help him at least get to the end of the year. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and
Because-
that X-ray machine is nice because you know what's broken before you ever even get there.
Get there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude.
That's one less thing we got to do at the hospital to rack that bill up.
They were willing to use that thing after I was already hurt. So they were going to look post injury to see what I did to my ankle at the beginning of the season.
Oh,
So
yeah.
those guys are really cool over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and their setup's real nice. I don't know if you guys have been in their little rig. He's got like an ATC pull-through toy hauler.
Yeah.
That's set up almost like a makeshift like doctor's office. It's pretty cool.
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I mean, he's invested in it. You know, he bought the X-ray machine. He tries to take care of his people. He's got the little waiting treatment room and
Mhm.
stuff like that. You know, they just need some help.
That's awesome.
It's top notch.
Yep. So the Sunstar Chain and Sprocket Ride Day is going to a great cause, and it's going to be a fun day. It's going to be cool to see all these guys out there, not in a race atmosphere,
Yeah.
right, Brandon?
Yeah, just kinda
Like
chilling.
typically when we see all these guys, and whenever you go to a track, whenever I go to a track, you're there to do business, right?
Right.
But it's going to be fun to go out there and just ride with these guys and be able to have a good time and go and support a really good cause.
Right.
I think that's an awesome thing that you guys are doing, and I'm happy
Oh, yeah.
to be like a little part of it. And it's fun. It's gonna be a fun day out there for sure.
That's I tell my boss all the time, we work in the most fun industry there is. Let's make it the most fun.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like what's the point of doing all this if you can't have a little bit of fun?
Heck
Yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to all you guys in the comments section. There's a lot to read through, but it looks like everybody's posting like where they're from. Just they started posting like
Heck yeah.
where they're watching from. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate you guys.
a couple
names that
people
I
started posting, and then I thought that was pretty cool. So I put a thing in there and told everybody to just start telling us where they're from. So we've got Canada, West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky. There's a few other states in there as
I
well.
want to hit all
but-
50. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
awesome.
Logan said
so
he
we're-
was gonna jump on after he gets out of work, being
Oh.
3 hours behind. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
might.
So
We are also going to be doing the Sunstar shifting gears segment. It's going to be. Did you say Logan's coming on?
No, he's going to be listening.
I'll be listening. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going
at
to the
work right
Sunstar
now.
shifting gears segment after Ryan Echols' interview. So if you guys haven't yet, make sure you enter your questions over on our Instagram. Brandon posted a question up there. Hit us up with anything you guys want to talk about, anything you guys want to hear on the. Usually they're pretty good.
Yeah.
The funnier they are, the better.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's kind of how we roll. Brandon, what do you know about Erzberg?
Erzberg. I just know that it's a hard enduro, of course,
Mhm.
right?
the shortest hard enduro,
It's
I believe.
shortest one, but pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Pretty gnarly. Like me, myself, and I, we would not. we would not.
We would struggle.
We would no. We won't even talk about it, right?
I'll
Like
take the time penalty to go around most of that
yeah,
stuff.
like I'd just be out there like just going around everything, like
Oh,
just
yeah.
checking it out. But dude, it's a very tough race. Any of those hard endures are tough, but definitely, like I said at the beginning of the show, it'll make a man out of you for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this is true, but I just read a statement that said that only 17 riders finished Red Bull Erzberg 2023.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only 17 riders.
500.
Yes.
Yeah,
that is
that's-
correct.
That is.
That right there, like that, because a lot of people are like, they go to a GNCC and they're like, oh, I just want to finish. Like, guys that aren't
Oh,
like,
yeah.
aren't like regulars to the.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a goal
Guys that are regulars, that's all they want too.
Yeah.
because
right.
because a GNCC track's tough enough.
Oh yeah.
Right. But when you talk, like, if you're going to Erzberg, I'm assuming that you're probably a pretty decent rider to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you have to assume that bike is going to be junk by the time you're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Those guys beat the crap out of those
oh
things.
man.
Yeah.
But I was reading an interview earlier with a on Billy Bolt, and he was like, in the first mile, I smashed my bike so bad that I didn't even know if the exhaust was still open. Like,
Didn't the guy that wasn't the guy that won like literally had no foot pegs? Like he literally
Danny
finished.
Ledenbetter,
I think so. I think
possibly.
it was either that race or a different race where literally his foot pegs, he didn't have any. He was just resting his feet
I
on
think-
the frame.
I think it might have been a different one.
Oh, is it a different one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Like, I think like for a good Erzberg, if like, you get this picture of like football shaped wheels just coming through the finish line, just
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's,
like, that's what you want to see, right? As a,
I was looking
as a
at
fan.
as a fan.
well, trying to read the results is kind of hard anyway, because they go by checkpoint. So if you reach the checkpoint by, I think it's like a certain time,
Mhm.
then you get that checkpoint. If you don't, you're done.
You're done.
They just give you whatever time you checked in at the last checkpoint or something.
Mhm.
And I was going through them, and out of the 500, I think there was something like 100 of them that didn't even make it to the first checkpoint.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly stuff.
That is
You-
pretty gnarly.
There's that huge sand hill right there
Mhm.
that even if you didn't have 500 other guys trying to go up it at the same time would be difficult.
That's a long pull.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
long pull too, isn't
Very
it?
long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get those type of hill climbs out here.
No.
Anywhere really.
I
I
mean,
don't even think the AMA hill climb series goes up hills like that.
Right.
You'd have to go to like a rock bouncer event.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks very sandy too,
Mhm.
going up that
Oh,
hill.
yeah.
Very
It's an
loose
old
soil.
gravel pit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You want to hear from the man himself, that guy's to run it?
I do want to hear from the man himself who got to run it.
What?
We're going to go to commercial break real
Yep.
quick, and we're going to come back on the other side with GNCC Trail Boss Ryan Echols.
Oh yeah.
You've seen them at the track. Now, online. Magna1motorsports.com. From used bikes, just like Jordan Chase and the rest of the team ride. Plus, all the gear you need. Helmets, goggles, gear, and more. Magna1Motorsports.com or trackside at GNCC and NEPG events. Be sure to pick up a bottle of Magna One's Magna One Clean It, revolutionary cleaning product for your dirt bike.
Coming soon. Join Chase Landers and Team Clean.
Trackside for everything you need when you need it. And at your fingertips at Magna1Motorsports.com. Magna One Motorsports and Magna1Motorsports.com. Your everything dirt bike headquarters.
Doug here from Sunstar Sprockets and Chains. I just wanted to thank you for listening to the Split Line Off-Road Podcast in 2022 season. Look forward to meeting as many of you as I can on the GNCC circuit next year, which reminds me, and to continuing with their discount code, all you need to do is go to our website, sunstar-braking.com, and use the code SPLITLINE30 to get 30% off your order. If you are not a Sunstar rider and you would like to be, then check out the Racer tab while you are there. If the link is active, then we are still accepting riders.
Hey guys, it's Mason with Steel Savers. If you've been listening to the show for a while or you've been around dirt bikes for a bit, you should know that Steel Savers makes the ultimate fork seal protection for your dirt bike. Not only do we have a full range of product for your dirt bike, we also have a variety of products for your side-by-side, for your mountain bike, for your quad. Be sure to check out our coil savers and CV boot savers for a double layer protection over your CV boot. Check out SteelSavers.com and enter the code SPLITLINE for 25% off. That's SteelSavers.com and the code is SPLITLINE for 25% off. Thanks for listening to the show.
And we're back.
All right, we are back, and on the line we have GNCC Trail Boss and recent Erzberg Rodeo competitor Ryan Echols on the line. Ryan, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, not too much. Just like saying, dealing with that Facebook Marketplace, you know.
Man, Facebook Marketplace, like I think we all know the struggles of Facebook Marketplace. Whether you're selling
I was gonna say,
or you're buying.
selling is the worst.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, is that available?
Yeah, for sure.
Selling is pretty bad.
I'll trade you this 1888 piece of crap for your 2023 bike.
Yeah.
Are you interested
Yeah,
in the pool
Bolton had me
table?
pretty good the other day. He said he'd trade me a PlayStation 2 and a pack of crackers or something. And I was like, who in the heck put, oh, it was Bolton.
well, let me ask you, is that for the bike that you just put through the Erzberg Rodeo? Because that might not be a bad trade, depending on what that bike, what kind of shape that bike came back in.
Hey, I'd never put like one scratch on that thing.
Really?
Not one dent in a pipe or nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it was a pretty bike when it went out there, and it must be a pretty bike coming back as well.
I figure it is. I haven't seen it since I got off of it.
Oh, okay. So what was that like going out there, man? I mean, that's got to be like, is that like a bucket list race?
Oh, for sure. Heck, it's been on my bucket list for what, maybe 20 years or so. And then heck, Jeff and them all made it happen with Auntie and everybody. And I mean, one heck of experience for sure.
So, like, what got this process all started? Like, so you know, you just said it was a bucket race. Like, who all made this happen, and you know, how did it work out for you?
Oh, really? Last year, at the High Point National, we were watching it on Red Bull TV when Caleb was over there, and I'm like, man, I really want to go do this. And Jeff was sitting there, and I've been talking about it ever since, really. And so I think he got with Carrie, and they got with Auntie and all those guys, and they made it happen for me.
Gotcha.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So, how many days? You know, like, tell us about the trip. Like, how many days was it over, and you know, how long did this all take place at?
Yeah, well, we left. I think we flew out. Yeah, flew out Tuesday about afternoon, and then we flew home on Monday. So, what, 6 days, something like that?
Yeah, about a week.
Yeah.
Was it all riding, or did you get to sightsee, or?
No, it was going over and coming back. It was like we only had like an hour layover in those airports. So it's pretty much running airport to airport. Pretty stressful. About missed the plane getting on to go to Austria, and about missed the plane coming back.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, so it was pretty much all business. We got there, drove to the track, and really the way Carl did it this year, there was no track walk. So you weren't allowed to see any part of the track. They let us do the prologue and stuff, but you weren't allowed to look at anything.
Wow.
Okay. How long was the track?
What was it? 43 kilometers, I believe. Something like that. 34 kilometers.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a nice little haul.
That's a yeah, for sure. And especially in the rough conditions that
for me.
Oh man, I bet that's a nice situation.
Yeah. Yeah, that took the stress off for sure. Anybody trying to do it like just randomly, it'd be hard. I mean, you totally could do it, but it'd be way more of a challenge.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. So tell us what like man, I'm sure like was you nervous? Like going to the first start of the first day there, like how nervous were you?
Man, I really don't get nervous. Like, it's been a long time since I've ever really been nervous sitting on the starting line or anything. It's like the first time I even rode that bike, I got on it, rode it up to the start line of the prologue, and that's the first time that I rode it fast.
That's funny. I love it, man. That's awesome. So like what was the most challenging thing that you occurred over there? I know there's big hill climbs, big rock sections. Tell us about some of the cool sections and stuff, and and some of the worst and some of the stuff you enjoyed too.
Yeah, like the prologue day 1, that was a lot of fun. Day 2 was way too sketchy for me. I was out on that. But as far as the track goes, I mean, probably the sketchiest thing is probably the downhills. I mean, they are. I wouldn't even call them downhills. They're more just drop-offs for 5 or 6 feet, and then you land on a super steep downhill with big rocks, and then you got to make a 90-degree turn or you go over a cliff. So,
wow,
it's real deal over there for sure.
Yeah,
man, that's crazy. And I'm sure like you're around. From the videos that I've seen, it seems like you're constantly around a ton of riders as well.
Yeah, really. Other than the start, you're all together, and it kind of breaks up pretty quick. But then we got to one spot out there, and there was probably, I don't know, 40, 50 of us sitting there, probably for 40 minutes at this hill, this huge bottleneck.
Oh, man.
It was like the
one line up the hill and nowhere else to go.
Man, that's a serious bottleneck. You're used to bottlenecks being the trail boss here at the GNCC, but I think that probably is a bottleneck on steroids, right?
Yeah. Well, what's cool about the bottleneck there, though, like everybody just hangs out. No one's like going crazy. You can't go anywhere else. Everything's a cliff. So everybody's just hanging out trying to get there, trying to go up it.
Yeah. Wow. So do you feel like when you're in this race and you're hanging out with these guys and you're like, do you almost feel like a camaraderie, like trying to like get up it together? Like, man, like, let's try to get this, or like, even though you're like in the mix of competing with each other.
Yeah, for sure. You kind of weigh it. Like if you think you've got it, you just don't say anything to anybody, because if you say it, then you're going to have to help. So once you're stuck, then you're like, I'll help you, you help me. And then,
So it sounds like a GNCC bottleneck.
Yeah. You know what you sound like? It sounds like when Cooper try to help this lady out.
Here we go.
And
we go.
She pushed him out, and he left her down over the hill.
Oh,
listen,
what is that?
Listen, Ryan, here's the deal.
I love it.
Her bike was so far over the hill that there was no helping getting it out of there.
Yeah. Okay. Let's.
Oh, that's how it is.
Let's point out that Rodney got out of this, came back around.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, this was a long time ago.
Well, she was no longer stuck when he came back around.
That's true.
So she was so far stuck that somebody else got her out. It just wasn't Rodney.
I think. I don't know exactly how she got out of there, but
Magic.
But it,
You know, for
we
no, it wasn't racing.
oh,
No, it wasn't racing her. It wasn't racing her. So, how many days did you actually race? Like, how many days was this split up into?
it was 3 days. So on Friday and Saturday were prologue days, and then Sunday was the race. So
Okay.
yeah, every other day you're really kind of just hanging out.
Okay. So for the people that don't really follow the Erzberg Rodeo that much, like, what's the difference between a prologue day and then the actual race day?
So the prologue day is short. So you go up, it's a whole time thing. You go all the way up the mountain. I think it was like 7 miles or something, and about 11 minutes. So 11 minutes on Friday, you're done, and then you try to beat your time on Saturday or whatever works out.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So did you participate in any of these or?
Yeah, you have to do the prologue to qualify into Sunday. So
okay.
If you're not in the top 500 through the prologue, then you're out on Sunday.
And you qualified Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I was sleeping a little bit on the prologue, but still made the second row. So we'll be all good.
Yeah.
So how many consist of each row?
50.
Is it 50?
50.
Made the second row. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
That's pretty good out of 500.
that's pretty awesome, man.
that means you got to start
Hey,
with
I
Graham
was with
Jarvis.
Graham Jarvis for like at least.
I'm sure to
Yeah, just blow it all to the outside.
we were just getting you prepared for, like, slick and rough conditions at Erzberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're preparing me for the future. I
Yeah.
just didn't know it.
No one knows.
Exactly.
No one knows.
So, Ryan, how long have you been with the GNCC crew as the trail boss?
First one was Ironman at the end of 15, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong on that, but I think it was the end of 15. I came and worked with Bolton and Barry that first time.
Yeah.
And then so it'd have been, I guess, 16 on.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Good.
No, you have your hands in a little bit of everything. I'm pretty sure I've seen you on a tractor at High Point or something and tilling up the dirt for the national. Am I correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't stopped. It was we did Mason Dixon. As soon as we got off the dozers, me and Jeff packed our bags. Next morning, over there, got back on Monday, straight to High Point to get it ready for the national. Snowshoe. Now off to Loretta Lynn's. So.
Oh man, you helped with the Loretta Lynn's hunt, man. That's.
Yep.
I bet that's gotta be insane. Like probably cool to watch all those amateurs, but just an insane work week for you.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely long work days, but I mean, it's a good time. As long as you love what you do, it's still fun.
Right. Yeah. So how was snowshoe? Do you have any crazy things up there? That you guys had to take care of being a trail boss, or?
Nothing too crazy. I mean, really, the hardest part of the whole weekend was the youth pod race.
Yeah, just
once we got through that one,
you were good.
Yeah, we were pretty all right.
Yeah,
it's a good weekend, really.
That's good.
Pretty wet, but it's all right.
Yeah, there was we were up there Friday for the golf tournament, and they were talking about like 2 3/4 inches of rain that they had gotten since Wednesday,
and there was still an inch left on the course.
and there was still an inch left on the course. But then, like Friday night, Brandon, it had to have been another inch of rain that they got. So you guys had your work cut out for you. Being ready to have to change track or whatever you guys needed to do to make the race happen as it needed to be.
Yeah, for sure. This is the first time since I've been here that we've actually had to change the track as much as we did from Saturday to Sunday. Usually the rocks, you can kind of ride it, but it got kind of bad over there on the west side.
Really? So
that morning bike race. Yeah.
When you're changing the track like that weekend, are you just moving the track over just a little bit to go around sections that got a little rough, or are you making big changes?
It all depends. Sometimes it's small changes and sometimes they're big ones. So it all depends on what the conditions are, where we're at, really.
Yeah.
Now, you guys did tease us a little bit, though, about the Howard's Hole thing. So I was just, we got some people in here that are saying free Howard's Hole. And
see, I knew this was going to come up. I was like, I bet you money Howard's Hole comes up in this.
Well, it hit the comment section, and Tim Cotter kind of teased us with it, and then it didn't happen. So I think they want a little insight on that.
Well, yeah, I think Tim has said that, and I don't know that he really meant it was completely free, but it came out that way. I was like, uh-oh.
So
it's not all the way free. It's kind of free, but not all the
way. Because I know the movement. The movement from the hardcore, from the nucleus of the Howard's Hole people is the morning ATV race. Right. Yeah. And that might actually be in our Sunstar shifting gears segment question. So we might you want to go into that real quick. And
there is not enough recovery vehicles on the side of that mountain for the AM race going through Howard's Hole. No, especially not this year.
It's fine. They all said that they'd pitch in and they'd get the four-wheelers out to where they can be out of the way, and then they can come home later.
Oh shoot. Now, just roll back quick to Erzberg while Cooper's looking this up. So what did you end up finishing overall on Sunday?
Man, I have no idea. I never did find the results. It was really hard to figure that out.
192nd, 197th,
yeah, something
like that.
Dude, that's pretty good.
That's pretty awesome.
Out of 500 people,
yeah,
that's
what you checked in at for 16 out of 27.
Uh-oh.
We're talking about where Ryan finished.
Yeah.
He got 137th overall.
I think we just lost him, but
my service just went out.
Number 90.
Your whole service?
Yeah. Just keep talking for a second.
What is it?
Okay.
I think his assigned number was like number 97.
There he is.
That's what was
there.
That was my fault.
Oh, okay. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we're done with you, man.
I don't know what happened there.
I'm no joking.
Enduro21.com.
Oh, Enduro21.com, Brian, if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
92 was your number and 137 overall.
You're 137th overall.
Because he hit the 16th checkpoint at like 3.5 hours, I think.
It was 3 hours and 34 minutes.
The 17th checkpoint was probably 200 feet from me.
Oh.
I could see him standing up there. And it was called the Cuckoo's Nest. And if you watch like the highlights from this year, you can watch where Billy Bolt and Manny, they're there for a while, just at the entrance of it, trying to get up through it. And I was like, I don't think I can make it there in 15 minutes. I tried, and I was like, well, didn't get there. But
wow, man, that is so crazy that this is such a gnarly track that you can see the finish on it. Can't make it there in 15 minutes.
You figure if
Right?
he was the
And they won't walk to you either. They'll just stand there. You could be a foot away. They're not moving.
Wow.
Like,
they don't even like walking
Nope.
across to scan you if you come up on the other side. Like
Wow.
I was watching the highlights and you can see where they're like, why'd this guy come up on that side? And then she like saunters over and scans the checkpoint and then saunters back.
Yeah, dude, that's gnarly. I mean, what in God's creation makes you want to do this stuff, right? Because I do not want to be part of it.
I don't know. Like a long time ago, like 2007, I went to did the Red Bulls Last Man Standing in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like my first experience with hard enduros. I don't know. I enjoy the
challenge,
the torture of it, I suppose you'd call it, or the pain.
The pain.
So, how did the Ayresburg rodeo compare to like when you went and ran JNCC and that kind of stuff?
Oh, it was night and day difference. Like,
was it a lot more fun though, or like, do you prefer one to the other?
Man, it all depends. I enjoy that stuff. It's a little bit of slower pace, but more technical, and I really enjoy that stuff a lot more nowadays. I used to like going fast, but hitting the ground hurts anymore. So,
fair enough.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. That's that. Like I said, I tell everybody. I know Jordan Ashburn. He likes to ride that hard enduro stuff too. And every time he's on, I'm like, dude, I don't know what makes you guys want to do this stuff. Like, I have no part. I don't want no part of hard enduro, like, at all.
I love hard enduro. My problem is I'm too short.
Oh,
I have to take like 2 inches out of my rear suspension on my 300 to touch the ground. So.
I think it's just like pushing your body through that, like seeing what you can actually take is
right,
and what you can do on a bike is at the end is very satisfying. I think.
I think it's just really crazy because like how light you have to be on the bike, right? Like you have to like keep that bike so light, and then I mean, are you like practicing like like I'm sure you are, but like your 1 foot turns and bunny hops and all that stuff. Like it's insane. Like the amount of bike skill and balance you have to do that stuff is insane.
So what did you do? What did you do to prep yourself for that? Was it like a lot of like that type of stuff in the backyard, like stacking up like wood piles and whatnot, or were you able to do anything like that to get ready?
Yeah, like actually down at John Milton's house, we're always riding everything. We're down there. We made a whole loop in the woods, so that's where I stayed. And actually, another buddy of mine, Randy, he actually started doing some of the riding with me, and it was a whole lot more fun when you get somebody else to come out there and torture themselves with you. So,
yeah. Have you ever done was it the hard 100 at Wildwood, or is it a hard 50 or something like that?
Yeah, I've done that one twice.
That looks like it has some pretty gnarly rock sections in it too. But yeah,
that one was first year. I didn't know what I was really getting into. I was not prepared. And the second year, I was way more prepared. I should have had 2 tires and not one. I messed up on that. So.
What about Tough Like Roar over here on the East Coast?
I haven't got an opportunity to do that one yet.
I keep seeing ads for it, and I'm like, I kind of want to try it, but I kind of don't. Like I'll have to call the enduro guys. Be like,
It's definitely on my list for next year, hopefully.
Okay.
But I think that one might suit the style of the GNCC guys pretty good though, because like Zach Nolan went and did it, and when he was doing it, I think he was like 2nd or 3rd overall in the beginning of the race, and then as it went on a little bit, I think he got a little bit tired because he wasn't racing all the time at that point.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of suits the style a little bit better for the GNCC guys, maybe.
Well, it's a terrain that I think we're kind of used to also because it's in Pennsylvania. I think it's in eastern Pennsylvania. So it's not too much different than what like the West Virginia guys run.
Right.
Same mountain range.
Yeah.
That's when I talked to Tristan and Roder and them about it. It was definitely, they said, was pretty hard this year. It was really like a mini Erzberg, actually, they said.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Go for it, Doug.
Let's go, buddy. Load up that Husky.
Come on, me and you next year.
There you go,
Right.
Doug.
I got to get my hacksaw out and take it up against that shock shaft in the back, though, so that I can reach the ground. I have a 300 XCW, and I've been just tooling around, and every once in a while, like I'll ride like an old local track or something like that. And the biggest problem I have coming from my like RMZ 250 to the 300 is the 300's like an inch too tall, and there's no linkage on it. It's a PDS bike, so I can't even change that. So I might end up going back to a linkage bike. I wanted to try it, and it's not working out for me too well.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
So here, you come down to my house. We'll get some practice in.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
He's like
no,
oh boy.
No excuses now.
I know.
So we have a listener asking about wants to know about the e-bike challenge.
Oh, is Colby on there?
Yes, it is.
So one of the guys works with me. I don't remember where we were. We were joking about it that he thinks he can beat me on an e-bike.
Oh.
And I said, challenge accepted. And I guess Erzberg's over.
So would this be during a GNCC or is like a backyard
during
e-bike
the
challenge?
GNCC?
Okay.
Okay.
Have you ever gotten to race in one of those?
No. I really like having the throttle. Like my legs, yeah.
Right.
How are your knees, Ryan?
Oh, he's a dirt bike rider.
I know.
They're pretty good.
Well, see, pretty good. Can we run a mile?
I could run a mile.
There-
I might be limping for the first half a mile, but I'll start running eventually.
So you just get warmed up, right? Once you get warmed up, you're
I'm
good
like
to go.
Forrest Gump.
Once he gets going, he never stops.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Just throw some graphite dust in the old knee braces.
There you go.
All right.
So we'll try to make this challenge happen at Beckley. Beckley seems like a spot to do it.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you beat him, is he going to use the excuse that you laid out the track as a?
I don't lay that one out though. Bolton and Jeff does that. So.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Gotcha. So
I can't remember what he had to do if I beat him.
Also,
so there's a bet.
So there's a wager going on here. We got stakes at
we like bets, like someone shaving their head, their eyebrows. What's going on?
I'm kind of I like my eyebrows, so maybe not those, but
well, maybe we can work out the stakes on the show. Colby, what's the stakes? If you're listening, put the stakes in the comment section that you're willing to
throw down.
To throw down. While we're waiting for that response, Devin, do we have any questions in the Sunstar shifting gear segment?
All right, he's not going to be caught off guard by this question, but the people want to know what it will take to free Howard's Hole completely.
And by the people, there's a certain person.
The CEO of the Mud Hole would like to know what it will take.
Man, I don't know. I think you're just going to have to wait and see what happens next year.
Oh.
We'll leave it at that.
Oh, so are you just playing off Tim Carter's? It might be free, but not all the way free kind of deal.
Yeah.
Media relations.
I don't know, but when you walk the track and you get out there to the turn to Howard's Hole, you'll just have to see what that arrow says.
Okay.
Oh.
There we go.
So, I mean, the thing is we have word. We have like scouts honor from the guys themselves down there that they will make sure everybody gets through Howard's Hole. So,
well, how about I'm not saying it's not a possibility? How's that?
Okay.
There we go. Do you think the faculty down at Howard's Hole can handle 4 hours of racing instead of 2?
Man.
That's a whole nother question.
Because
hold on a second.
You're good.
My favorite video was the old guy that was standing at the top of the ski lift with the camera, just recording everybody coming back up the ski lift, trying to get off the ski lift and down the stairs. That was the best video of the whole weekend. It was hilarious. Some of those dudes were destroyed.
That would be the hardest part. The mud fleas, I don't know if they can handle that long.
Well, I mean, they're down there at 8 o'clock in the morning, anyways, damming up. So we didn't know they dammed up Howard's Hole. This is all news to us last time, but yeah.
I didn't even notice when I was in there.
So do you have to take the dams out of Howard's Hole once they leave?
So we actually end up they bring pipes and everything back in to clean the water as it goes out of there. So, yeah. The one goes into Howard's hole.
Okay.
Like that, and mulching it again. We had to carry, both on them carried hay bales back in there. I had to mulch everywhere.
Really?
Like halfway back into that thing. Yeah. Not all of it, but halfway in there.
Wow.
It probably got pretty tore up this year too.
Yeah.
Nice.
With all that rain and
all the rain, and then
all the people
everybody stomping around. And
It wasn't as bad as what I thought it would be, because I think at this point we have it 8 down so far that we're like roots and rocks, and they just don't go away anymore.
it looked like there was a lot of bedrock, or like the bottom of it, like creek rock type of stuff in the bottom of it. Looking at some, I know when Abney fell off his quad, he didn't like sink at all. Like, just kind of
it's the entrance of it that's so hard.
Yeah, the entrance
just coming into it's the hard part.
The entrance was definitely the tough part, because it does get a little soft coming in, and then where the roots and the rocks are kind of the way they lay makes it kind of tricky. So the best way to get across is just kind of lean back, keep the front end light, and just let it go. Because if you don't, you'll catch a rock or something on your A-arm, and it'll just throw you forward.
See, that would be me. I'd end up upside down like a crab. Like, help me.
Could you imagine if they made C-Class go that route in the AM race? Those poor guys. There'd be bikes upside down everywhere.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
You're not You're not making a good cause for freeing Howard.
You're not helping the situation.
Well, maybe the crowd. All I'm saying is maybe the crowd should just shift over a little bit and let them go around that rock.
That big rock you got to jump on.
Instead of jumping off of it.
You'd see me like you're unloading it from the pickup. I just grab the front and just pull it as fast as I could, so it fell on all fours, and then get back on it and ride.
There you go.
That's the way I'd have done it.
They are pretty generous with that rock. Like, they stand there, and if you start going too far, they try to make sure that you don't flip completely. But if you really launch off it, they can't really do much to help you. So
yeah, I saw Abney and I think Wilkin both hit somebody on the top of that rock and messed up their jump down though.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. It's entertaining watching that, like the videos and stuff from down there.
Do we have another question, Devin?
All right, I think this one might be some good insight, because Ryan is a dirt bike guy. Will the bike championship come down to Ironman?
Man.
Yes.
I think it will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, right now, there's Craig DeLong is the only one that's, really pulled that 2-time. Well, no,
Ben Kelly.
Ben Kelly, too.
Yep.
Those two are like the only two that's won more than one race. So, and everybody else is just singling them out.
Yeah, three guys within 4 points. Ryan, when's the last time we've seen a championship series in the bike class this close?
With that many guys, man, I don't know if they ever.
Right.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I don't think it's been ever either.
That's got to be, to start the season with 7 different winners. That's got to be a record, right?
Yeah, it for sure is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's going to come down at least the last 2 races, if not the last one.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is currently Stu Baylor and Craig DeLon are tied. Craig has 2 wins, and Stu's been outside of the top 20 once.
That's crazy.
So technically speaking, Stu's at the disadvantage because he had a race that didn't count for points.
Mm-hmm.
Craig's got 2 wins, and all of his races have counted so far. So yeah, I'm just saying, when we come back to Beckley, Stu has won the last 3 there. We could see a turn in the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even the guys that have won multiple times, the results are so up and down,
right?
It almost cancels out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ryan, when you're laying these tracks out, how often are you getting input from these riders saying, "Hey, you need to do this or that," from the top tier riders?
Not very often. I kind of watch, like, after we lay something out, I'll watch throughout the day and be like, "Oh, that didn't work very well," or I'll even go back and watch the whole entire 3-hour Racer TV or the 2-hour quad race and be like, that'd work better if I did this or that, and just mental notes for the upcoming year, really.
Right.
I know when they don't like something, they let me know pretty quick. But no, they're always good, though. They don't really say much.
Yeah. Do things like whenever you're laying out a track and then you see how it turns out, I'm sure over the years you've gotten better at visualizing something and how it's actually going to to turn out if like you're laying in a new section or something like that, versus like when you first started, it may have been you thought one thing and it ended up being something else.
Yeah, that's what when I first started doing it with Jeff and everything. Jeff's like, that's probably not a good idea, and I'm like, I don't see why not. And I do it and be like, oh, never mind. I see why it's not a good idea now. So you learn the dirt. You can pretty much, you got to see the future really. So you look at it and you're like, okay, in 2 days, what's that going to look like right there? So
yeah,
I think it just kind of grows on you and you learn it as you go really.
Are bottlenecks your biggest enemy?
Yes, probably. We try to make that not happen, but they sneak in there sooner or later.
There's always that one kid on a 300 EX with tires from the 90s.
Oh yeah, got big old balloon tires.
Top of the hill.
I tell you one thing, it's probably a hard thing to do is lay out the micro track in the morning.
Oh yeah,
for the micros.
Make it
because you have so big a variety of riders. Like the kids on the front line pretty much look like they're pro riders, and then you got like little PW riders. Like I know at Mason Dixon when I was out there in the woods with Colton, like waiting for Colton, like this one PW sent it down over that one hill, and was that him?
No, it wasn't. Him, but that's him and his brother. Him. There's no
and
chill
like
on those
one stopped, and we literally walked him down the hill, and the other was going down, but I guess couldn't grab his brakes. Thank goodness the boy wrecked, because if not, he was going to keep going over the next culvert. I was like, oh, boy. Yeah. But I mean, I was just like watching, like, because you have so much, different.
Yeah, and then a lot of P-dubs can't make it up hills.
Right.
Yeah, so you gotta keep that in mind too. Like we gotta make it to where these guys can get around the track.
Yeah.
A huge
even when the P-dubs can't make it, it's like even the other 50s and stuff, a half hour just racing up a hill or something, most of the time the clutches start going or like the really good kids, they don't have a problem with it, but the ones right in the middle where they're not really on the gas all the way, they're just slipping the clutch. So you try to make them where everybody can do it and the parents can go home and not have to fix everything on the bike every time. But
yes, we appreciate that.
It's the same way on Saturday mornings with the DRRs versus the TRX.
Yeah, this quads, it's just insane.
So Ryan, what's your favorite track? Favorite track that you enjoy laying out over the years? And it could be past tracks that we don't go to anymore or a current track.
Man, that's a hard one, really. Like, you always like Iron Man just because it's Iron Man, but really, I guess bolt on them would be like really Ryan, but like the west side of Snowshoe, I probably really enjoy. It's rough, but like I can kind of make it more of a challenge over there, so it's.
Well, we all know you like.
I used
rough
to like
stuff.
racing snowshoes, so
yeah, we all know you like rough stuff. You just did.
Do you find yourself like looking at lines and like, man, I really wish that I could put this line in there, but we would end up having a terrible bottleneck?
Oh yeah, all day long. Like even when Sunday biked at Snowshoe, there's a couple spots I was like, if I could put this in, this would be really good. But.
And I'm sure that there's lines that you've been eyeing up for years too, because we go to the same track so often.
Well, there is one at Beckley. I've been trying to get there. We've been working. We're kind of trying to change the track a little bit here and trying to work towards this rock garden. Me and Bolton went and rode it when we went and scouted that place, and we were on 150s and we had to push them through this whole thing. And I'm like,
so what you're saying is,
I'm going to get to this thing sooner or later.
This sounds like maybe one of those PM bike only sections, right?
What? Don't even
for
start
sure.
that.
Yeah, it would definitely be.
Well,
see,
I mean, he said it.
I'm just saying, you already planted the seed when you mentioned it. Don't be stealing thunder from the ATV guys.
Okay, give it to the ATV afternoon guys as well.
And then, so that way Devin can break down.
All right.
So that way Devin can break down.
I'll make it through the rock garden, but I'll probably be broke down at the end of it.
Like a half mile on the other side.
Hey, so how well do you know Devin from having to tow him out?
Hey, I don't think he's.
Wait, how many times have I towed you out?
I think he's probably only towed me out like once, maybe
a year.
Oh.
That's more than he's towed me out.
I'm just saying.
I was going to say with me, like very seldom am I doing a whole lot of towing unless I come around the corner. I'm like, oh, there's somebody, or like Usually I'm doing other things, riding parts of the track, changing something, or I'm always going somewhere else. So
I think the one time
I don't do a whole lot of towing.
I think the one time he towed me was because the race was already over and he was just happened to be riding through there.
He made eye
Yeah,
contact. He made eye contact with you and couldn't avoid you. Is that what it is?
That's what I mean. I'm coming right at him like, uh-oh.
It's like going to Walmart and you see that one person you do not want to talk to, and you put your head down and you're like, oh no, they see me.
That was me. That was me that you did that too.
What really happened was I jumped out in the middle of the track and I'm like, listen, we don't live that far from me. Tow me in.
Oh shit. No, man, that's really cool that you that you actually get to be part of the Erzberg over there and to represent the West Virginia people pretty good,
and GNCC
to
represent
too,
GNCC.
I think there was only 3 or 4 USA guys.
Yeah,
there wasn't that many.
Yeah, like actually this year was the first. There was 7 I think Americans there this year, the most ever.
Yeah, it was a real small amount.
Yeah. How often did you find yourself in a bottleneck and everybody's talking lins and you couldn't understand their language?
Well,
only that one bottleneck. That's the only one I was ever in.
Oh, okay.
So that one you're like, what are they talking about?
So what about Romaniacs now? Since you got Erzberg out of the way.
The other day, Mark Hyde's like, "Hey, you really need to go do this," and I'm like, "I mean, that's 4 days of hard enduro." He's like, "But I mean, I was top America when I went and did it. You need to go try to do it." I'm like, "Really? You're gonna call me out like that?"
I love what we'll stream the Romaniacs race at work. It's fun to watch.
Yeah,
it's.
I'll watch it all day.
Oh yeah,
but I'm never doing it.
But I think it's hilarious to watch, and you see Manny come through, and then you see Billy Bolt hit stuff, and they're two completely opposites when it comes to riding, because Billy will just hit whatever.
Yeah,
like they literally the one video that was going around where he jumped up the hill and he like wheel tapped off the tree.
Yeah,
it's like who else is going to you have Manny, and Manny, and he's like calculated. He knows exactly.
I mean, Billy's an animal.
Oh, yeah.
He's a wild dude.
That Walker kid that's coming up now, that I think he finished 3rd. He rides a lot like Billy does. Like you can see the enduro cross in that kid. Like he's just hit everything in 2nd gear, just on the pipe.
Yeah, so I think it's cool to see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like when we went and did the parade over there. Like, man, Billy's like craziest guy in the parade.
It's still awesome.
He's doing a burnout up against his truck, giving a cop high five.
He needed something for the YouTube.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like you literally got to start behind, I don't know, probably close to the top 50 bike riders in the world.
Yeah.
Well, you got to start with Graham Jarvis. I mean, that's crazy in itself. And then you have Johnny Walker and all those guys in front of you.
Yeah. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you wearing a GoPro?
So that's what I was just getting ready to ask.
No GoPro.
No, that was kind of afterthought. Really, I didn't know if you could wear a GoPro, but with the FIM, I guess you're allowed over there. So
so you could
it was kind of an afterthought.
Yeah,
just an AMA rule, I think.
Well, I mean, you just got to go back next year so you can wear a GoPro, right?
That's what I said.
Good excuse to go back.
Right.
No, honestly, I mean, once you've done it once, you kind of know what to expect now. Like, I feel like, you probably feel like you could, maybe outperform yourself if you're given the opportunity to do it again, not in a brand new environment to yourself.
Yeah. Now that I know what's going on and how it kind of all lays out, I would definitely expect more out of myself for sure. Definitely either through Carl's Diner or somewhere after that.
That's how would you even practice for that over here? Ride all the hills on like an 85 or something? How do you practice for that over here? Because I was talking to Rick Kecko. He went and did the ATV race over in Romania, and he said there was hills where they actually had to winch the quads up and winch them down because the quads couldn't go up without flipping over backwards. He goes, you couldn't.
Yeah, I seen that Hunt the Wolf or whatever.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. I'm out. I ain't doing that.
But it's like we don't have anything like that over here. So how do you even how would you
train for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to try to have like an underpowered bike with the biggest hills you could find, I would guess.
No, you really want to do it on what you're going to ride. It's a lot about it's amazing. Just position of your feet on the foot pegs will make such a difference.
Mm-hmm.
By just moving from the ball of your feet or putting more pressure on the front of your foot peg or something going up the hill. It's amazing how much of a difference it will make.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What I think is amazing is how well you say the bike, how well of shape you said the bike is in. After we, Brandon, didn't you say
Manny somebody didn't finish with some foot pegs at one race that I saw. So
yeah, no foot pegs on the bike.
That was Tristan up at Tough Like Roar.
Okay, yeah,
he finished with no foot pegs.
That's insane. Yeah. I couldn't imagine bringing a bike like through a race and like there's no foot pegs. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Well, Ryan, man, dude, awesome to have you on tonight. We appreciate your time tonight. It was fun talking to Erzberg with you and then talking some GNCC as well. Yeah, it was a good time. And you're not that far away from our studio, so we need to get you in sometime and do one live. Have you help us guess?
Yeah. I mean, I can swing in there.
Yeah, because we're literally basically across the street from Pyramid Valley. So
pretty much.
Oh wow, yeah, you're not that far away.
There we go. Yeah. So, but
about 15 minutes or so.
Oh,
maybe 20.
Oh yeah, not that far away at all. So yeah, man. Well, we appreciate your time tonight, and we're gonna let you go. But thanks again for sharing those stories with us.
All right, thank you guys for everything.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.
Later.
Yeah.
All right.
Takes a crazy person to do that stuff.
And to do it well.
Yeah.
To do it really well.
Yeah.
I mean, that was awesome. That he was able to finish as high up as he did. One thing I didn't get to ask though. He said only 500 riders qualified. How many tried to qualify?
Probably 1,000.
Yeah, I was going to say the parades and stuff are pretty big.
And then for him to finish in the top 200, 130?
137.
Yeah, 130.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing accomplishment.
Right.
It really is. So
you also have to think it's not like he just jumped on a dirt bike one day and decided he was going to ride good. Like he used to be really fast when he was young.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like before he started the GNCC stuff, he was one of the top guys. So it wasn't just he still hasn't lost his speed. He still comes out every once in a while at a local or something in races, and he's still running in the front. So it's not like he just decided, hey, I want to do Erzberg one day. And now I'm going to do it. He was already insanely good on a dirt bike anyways. So
yeah.
Colby just said that there was almost 2,000 entries.
Yeah.
So you're in the top 10% of the riders there
in the world.
Yeah. That's so. Top 5% really. I mean, that's a heck of an accomplishment for sure.
Yep.
But Ryan has always been an awesome rider. Like I said, Brandon and I, we watched him at Pyramid Valley. Him and Joe McCarty, and those guys always out there battling and putting on a show for us, especially on that slick track after we cut it down.
Put the finish touching.
Put that little finish touch. We wanted them before their moto to be able to see the reflection in the turns.
Yeah, like when you walk across the track, you can't stand up, kind of stuff.
Yeah. There was a little bit of blue groove out there every once in a while.
Yeah, that's why we banked the corners at Pyramid.
Right. So, Devin, is there any more questions in the Sunstar shifting gear segment?
Yeah, they were. Somebody asked, why do we think majority of the pros do not run neck braces?
Well,
because they grew up not racing them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big, everybody knows about how Rhino feels about this, topic. But I mean, a lot of people say, like Doug said, they didn't grow up riding with them. And then some people say, cuts down on vision, like you can't move your head that much, right? Maybe that, like the older ones where you're locking in. Newer ones seem to be.
We're all about the same age in here. And I remember when they first came out, they were big and bulky, almost like a linebacker roll.
Right.
And they were snapping people's collarbones.
Yeah.
And now I just got one for those guys, and a couple of my buddies have started wearing them because we're trying to set an example for our kids coming up.
Right.
They're not the same anymore.
I think a decent amount of the quad guys do run them. I know
Fowler runs them.
Ron
McGill.
Yeah.
Does McGill run with?
I I don't know if Rush still runs them. He did at one point.
Rush runs them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't McGill run it with the Chest Pro? No.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But
I run one.
And I know Stu runs one,
Yeah.
and he said after
Stu definitely runs one.
After his hosted neck accident he had last year, he'll never ride again without one. So
yeah, that's I'll be honest. I just started wearing a hard chest protector. I'm not up to the neck pro yet, but that's I've been talking back and forth with the Liette guys, so I'll probably get one here pretty soon too.
I mean, it's a good investment,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a good investment. Also protection, but like I said, I think a lot of them. You got to remember, these guys are riding 3 hours in the woods, and you know there's something that they have to wear and get used to ride that long. For one, two is maybe like getting the vision up out of the track a little bit. It's something you have to get used to. Really, it's really something. Like you throw it on, it's like, you know,
it took me a while to get used to roll offs.
Right. Yeah, like pulling that.
Lost that extra like 5% of peripheral vision.
Right. Yeah, because they're like come out.
Yeah.
You know what? Finding that string took me a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then also, like, you don't get the full goggle.
Right. Yeah, you only get like.
Stop buying 35.
You know what?
50s.
You know what drives me crazy though?
See the whole thing.
You know what drives me crazy though is I like the idea of tear offs over roll offs, and you can't find those anymore.
No, it's a certain someone has that patent, and I can't remember who has it.
I know, but
Scott does it.
I think it's Scott. I think Scott has a
yeah,
patent.
I can put a tear off over my roll offs. I don't.
One tear off?
You can put
I can probably put as many as I want.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like a set thing that you can't do it.
Yeah.
Man,
the post is pretty big.
Do you know, Brandon, speaking of tear offs, like you remember like how before laminated tear offs were a thing.
Yeah.
And you just stacked them.
Yeah.
Remember we used to stack those things?
Stack.
And then like your vision would be blurry.
Yeah. Especially at night.
At night.
Saturday night. The dew's falling down on your goggles and you're like, oh boy.
Yeah, that's
or you would get in a mutter. Or you'd get in a mutter and the mud would be in between every one of them. You're just like
that's the problem that we had racing stock cars. I raced dirt track cars.
Yeah.
And we would run into that where it would get so humid like at night that it didn't matter if they were laminated or not. And this was before the gaskets and all that fancy
stuff. Yeah.
And it would. Or they'd get so hot that they would stick together and you'd go to pull them off and it'd pull like
everything.
All of them. But it's there's actually, because Europe has banned tear offs for it's probably got to be close to 10 years now, right? Like you're not allowed to wear tear offs over there. So that's really where like the roll offs came from. And I was just talking to a company that I'm gonna try it out, and I'm gonna have my kids try it out, where it's actually a hydrophobic foam that or like not a foam, but it's a hydrophobic piece that goes over your goggles, and it's supposed to get like the water and the mud where it just kind of drips off like a GoPro case almost.
Okay.
So I'm going to actually try that and see if it works out.
Good deal.
And they make them for the Scott Prospects, and that's what I wear.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm going to try it out, see if it works. Because if I don't have to wear those weird roll-off canisters, I'm not going to. And personally, I hate tear-offs.
Right.
Like I'll throw my goggles before I have to put tear-offs on.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm like old school. I like to tear off because for one, I went to a bike into the woods, right? And then I went from tear offs. So I'm trying to find this little string. Like, you know, wasn't really used to it that much because I'm always pulling tear offs.
I don't see the string as being a big deal.
Dude. Well, when you're on a dirt bike in the woods and you're already panicking anyways.
Wait, aren't you guys supposed to do that when you throw sweet whips? That's the only time I see people.
Brandon, you're supposed to do it in the air.
Listen, I'm talking, this is like my first woods race on a dirt bike. It's slick, it's muddy, and
I mean,
is that Mason Town actually?
It's the same as a tear off.
And
it's actually less motion than a tear off.
Well, I panicked and I ripped the string so hard it stuck out. It ripped, and I was going by like literally. Thank goodness the track went pretty close back. How it went back, and I pretty much just threw my goggles off and had Lauren to have me another pair on the next lap. But yeah, like I had the string flapping and the film is all like tore out and it was all jacked.
That does suck when you see guys riding and there's like 37 feet of film behind them.
Where their canister took a rock or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel bad for those guys every time.
Ever since then, I'm like, screw these
Yeah.
screw these roll-offs.
Some guys are.
I wear Scott goggles because I've not had any problems with that since I switched to the Prospect.
Shout out to Scott Goggles. We are
the-
needing it.
Yeah, I mean,
The only
sponsorship.
We're needing we're needing a goggle sponsorship. So
The only problem I ran in with Scott's is Tiger Run this year when it was super muddy. I had 2 brand new set of Scott's, and every other goggle company I've gotten came with the film in the goggle. So I went up to the line. There was no film in my roll-offs, and I didn't realize it. That's the only problem that I ever ran into with my Scott.
Man.
And it was my own fault, you know,
Right.
just not checking. And so I'm like, wow, those are really clear. Yeah. I wonder why.
But it was just like this Saturday. I wear 100%. I'm not on the Scott train yet, but I wear 100%, and I had tear-offs on, and they're not laminated because I don't like laminates because you have to put a 20-pack on, or you can separate them, whatever. Anyways, but it started raining.
Brandon's cheap.
I'm very cheap.
He is very.
I have a
cheap.
son that races dirt bikes. So I gotta be cheap, like, and I got a quad that needs fixing, and whatever.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah, hey, Devin's hopefully to bring that piece for me. Anyway,
It still has a little bit of race fuel in it too.
Oh, sweet, sweet.
Right.
But like it started raining through one of the motos because it was so hot that day on Saturday. So literally I had to pull all my tear offs because it was starting to get in there and mess with me. And I'm sitting there like wiping my goggles like halfway through the thing. So yeah, should have had some roll offs, I guess.
There's 2 important things in my gear bag, and that's my Scott goggles and then my Atlas neck.
A tow hook.
I say tow hook. Or
no, I don't intentionally take a tow hook.
That's just already installed on his quad right on the front bumper.
Yeah.
And a winch.
What? So the 2 important things in my bag are
tree to tree.
Scott goggles, Atlas neck braces.
He's like the George of the Jungle for GNCC. Tree to tree.
Just winching himself from tree to tree.
Oh,
love you, Devin.
Yeah, we love you, Devin.
At least I'm on the track.
Oh, shots fired.
I mean, you've raced 1 time this year, Brandon.
But I've rode at least, that'd be my 3rd time.
I've rode 3 times.
I mean, actually at a track.
There's a track there.
That's not considered.
I'm riding next weekend at the Sunstar Chain and Sprocket.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'll be there. I'll be there, whether you're there or
Are you
not.
bringing Nolan? Is he going to ride?
Probably not, because we don't have anything to ride right now.
No.
Stick him on the 110. He's tall enough.
Yeah, I did. I actually did put him on the 110 the other day.
There's no shifter on it anyway.
Go.
Slap it in gear and let him go.
Going, I have that shifter ordered. Going is no problem. It's just stopping is the only problem for him.
That's the problem I run into with my kids because their hands are so small.
They can't.
Yeah, they
the
can't
brakes.
pull it. The P-Dub's not bad, but like the YFZ 50, that's pretty bad. And
Right.
their Stasics were bad too. I ended up getting like the ASV easy pull
Oh,
lever
the easy
for 'em.
pulls.
Yeah. So now they're leaving.
Dude's
little
got better
rubber
levers than
marks.
I do on my
Yeah.
bike.
Parker had the same problem when he was racing initially, and then we got a DRR, and when he was going to get on the DRR before he decided to quit racing, we got the adjustable levers and stuff for it, so
yeah.
you could
It
just
makes a
set it
big
where.
difference.
Yeah, those were pretty cool.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we have any more questions? Was that all the questions?
I got one for you guys.
What?
It wouldn't be proper without me
Right.
submitting.
You have another one, Devin, real quick?
There was not a question, but a statement.
Oh, statement.
So,
I love
yeah,
statement.
It was for you.
For me?
Yeah, it says not a question. Just tell Brandon thanks for moving out of the way for some of the C-class guys.
Oh,
That was from
Oh, about my nephew?
that was from Wyatt D. So
YD.
I guess it must be a C-class
Oh,
guy you moved out of the
maybe.
way for this weekend.
Must have.
right.
No problem, buddy.
I can't say anything.
No problem.
I'm a professional lapper.
Listen, if it was the first moto, the second moto, I just went down. But the first race, I'm telling you, like I just packed in and just kind of cruised, and people were catching because open class was right behind me,
Right.
and I was
Oh,
just letting
yeah.
them cruise, man.
There's a question over on the YouTube channel. You boys ever race any VCHSS?
What is that?
I'm not sure what that is.
it's Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah,
Vir-
it's a dirt bike only series.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the is that Dill that runs that down there? He runs a lot of GNCCs. We ran full gas series with him last year.
Okay.
And dude seems like a really cool guy and puts on a lot of nice events down there. It's only dirt bikes only, like Devin said, but if you like a lot of single track and some nice trails,
Awesome.
Seems like he does a lot of.
This guy said
stuff
he's
down
considered running a few, just didn't know how much, or didn't know much about their track or setups.
there. Yeah,
Only one way to find out.
Only one way to find out.
Like I said, I met the guy that puts it on. Really cool guy. And his son rides all the GNCCs and stuff. So if you ever have any questions, you got to look him up. I think his name's Dill. I can't remember his first name, and it's really bad, but last name's Dill. DEL.
I'm sure they have a website. He'll probably have the name as well.
Yeah. Just looking him up and
page.
Yeah,
They have an Instagram page.
Yeah.
Too.
Yep.
I've heard a lot of good things about him.
Yeah, that like I said, very cool. I talked to him about his tracks before, and like I said, he likes a lot of tight stuff, a lot of single track stuff, and then opens it up a little bit too. So, and there's a lot of fast guys that go there too. So
yeah. Alicia commented in the comment section a little bit ago that she remembers the story a little bit differently. So
I love it.
I'll take the browbeating, Alicia. I'm sorry again.
Thank you, Alicia, for letting me know this. So
we've already discussed.
I can bring
this.
it up and just,
we've already. I think we already dedicated half a show to this subject.
It's coming up for like the rest of your life, bro.
Yeah,
like,
this is an unlimited card.
Listen, like you know, that's as bad as like leaving a little kid down over a hill, right?
Oh, shut up, Brandon.
I mean, a woman and a kid.
Listen,
like
what if that would have been your wife out there?
Yeah, he probably would have left his wife.
He would have.
Championship points.
He would have.
For what, B class that year, or is that A class?
B class.
B class. B class. Did you even win any money for that points for B class? Nothing.
I mean, he'd probably get
points.
a sponsorship.
Brownie points.
Yeah.
Sponsorship.
Yeah.
Sunstar hook you up.
Yeah.
I'll go get the trophy right now, right there.
Is that right?
Right.
I can get my 6th place Mountain State trophy. Worked hard for that thing.
You see, work hard for it.
What are we doing? We're gonna stack up championship trophies and stuff over there.
I mean, I got.
Oh, look at this guy. He's going to bring his NEXC overall #1 plate.
He's going to bring his own trophy from his own series.
Son, I've won 3 championships in 1 year.
Listen to this guy. All right, Doug, what's your question? We're just getting deep in here.
Oh, yeah. Would you rather be stuck in a phone box with 10 snakes or 10 tarantulas?
Oh, I'll do tarantulas. 'Cause I cannot do snakes, bro.
I'm doing tarantulas.
What kind of snakes?
I don't care what kind
matter,
of snakes they are.
dude. Like, snake is a snake.
Only
No,
good
I
snakes are dead ones.
No,
I agree.
I cannot.
I had
do
a lot of
snake.
snakes with a lawnmower.
You ever watch Snakes on a Plane?
No.
Never watched that? Don't ever watch it if you don't like snakes.
Well, he's tired
But I feel like
of these snakes.
I feel like tarantulas could jump though.
They can.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like,
And they
at
can
least I
climb.
could squash
climb.
them or whatever. Like, a snake is just weird.
I feel like a snake could not
Uh-uh.
climb up a phone booth, but a tarantula could.
No, snake.
And then jump
Watch
off onto
way
your
too many
face.
weird animal videos on YouTube to want to be in that phone booth with either one of them.
Right.
I'm picking snakes because I'm
Yeah.
going to hope that they're like garter snakes.
Yeah, garden snakes.
I don't give a crap if they're gardener snakes or what they are. I do not want in there with snakes.
No, I don't do any snakes, bro. I'll do all spiders. All you
Hey, I
want.
got a funny story, a snake story. So, you know our buddy Craig.
Yeah.
We were up riding on the strip job one time,
Mhm.
and we're going down this road, and a huge black snake. I'm talking like a 6-footer, like just crossed the road in front of us and went over into this pile, junk pile, like you see at a strip job. Well, I don't know why we got off the bikes and like, we're going to look for this thing. Well, Craig's over there kind of like looking around and everything. And I'm behind him, like 10 foot behind him. And I just so happen to look to my left and I see a black garden hose, like a 6-foot black garden hose, just a cut piece of garden hose. I pick it up and I was like, found him. And I threw it over to him. He about jumped out of his skin. It like went around his neck and everything, and he's screaming and
I'd have been
dancing.
using my socks to clean myself up
Yeah.
after that one.
Yeah.
That's when I
But
was.
it's one of those things like you look down, it's like it was like
It was
when are you
perfect,
ever
yeah.
going to get like how many times in a lifetime would you get that opportunity to
Right.
play that prank?
Yeah. I don't even know why you got to stop and look for a snake, bro.
I don't
know.
either.
I'm out.
That's when I was out in California riding a lot. We would get they're called like red racers. They probably get like 10 feet long, but
Oh,
you'd hit them with
shit.
your front wheel and they'd get all wrapped up in the forks and stuff. But there's a lot of snakes out there. I mean, and tarantulas. That's how I figured out tarantulas can jump pretty far.
Really?
Yeah, we'd be out there riding and camping, and then they'd
Yeah.
be like point, point, point.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
I'm staying in West Virginia, guys. You guys got some weird shit going on outside of here.
So apparently
doubt.
California has even worse things going on.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have a not another question, but a late comment that was built into the Sunstar chain and sprocket.
Okay.
This said pro bikes and pro ATVs on Saturdays. You guys make it happen. We should talk about. We should
Just
talk
talk a
about.
little bit about that too.
Well, I thought about it, but
Right.
I didn't want to put him on the spot with something like that. But
Right.
dude, I'm telling you what.
with Howard's Hole.
With Howard's Hole, yeah.
Well, I mean, he does lay out the tracks. So.
Yeah.
But he doesn't make the schedule. I'm telling you though, you want to get this sport on like Peacock or ESPN Plus or something of that nature. You need to be able to follow a better like time schedule, right? Because that's the biggest thing. Like an ATV race that's supposed to start at 1 and then it not starting until 2, which we're used to that. Like that's just the world we live in, right? But like when you're on a TV time frame, you can't do that.
See, I think it should be both pro classes, maybe youth or micro or something on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
Because now you're going up against the pro nationals. You figure 99% of the guys that show up and race aren't professionals.
Yeah.
They still got to work on Monday.
Right.
You know, so that's why I was thinking put the pros on Sunday, because now you have what other sport plays on Sunday. I mean, football, but I mean, that's only for part of the race season anyway.
Right. And
well,
my biggest thing is you look at the weekend as it goes, and I would say your track is at its highest capacity, probably around that AM
Sunday morning.
ATV race.
Sunday morning.
Nah, gotta
There's
be 8.
way more bikes than there are quads.
No. I'm talking about just people.
Like
people, yeah,
people watching.
Fans.
What I'm trying to say is if you are a promoter of the sport, if you are like, let's say if you are if you're Magna One Motorsports, you want your bikes to be in front of the most eyes, right?
Right.
You want Jordan Ashburn to be out there.
Be the
TV,
Yeah.
but also live audience.
Yeah.
And you're going to get everybody there. You're going to get all the quad guys still there.
Yeah.
You're going to get all of the amateur riders there. If they have to wait and race on Sunday, they'll still be there Saturday. But then you just get all of the eyes on both pro races, and then you race amateurs Sunday.
Well, so part of that argument is, there's people that have to work on Monday, but there's also people that have to work on Fridays, and they're taking a day off anyways.
Yeah.
So if they're not leaving until Friday night to get to a race, then they could just take off Monday.
There will be naysayers, right?
Yeah.
There'll be negative.
I'm just saying you're never going to get a TV spot on Saturday. It's going to be a rerun on Sunday or Monday anyway.
Well, but now, I mean,
he's saying with Peacock.
In
too,
today's day and
so-
age, there's really no such thing as having to do reruns, because I mean, you're literally watching cornhole tournaments live.
Yeah.
Because there's 10,000 channels now that you can just stream. Like with streaming nowadays,
GNCC is already on Mav TV, I think, right?
Yeah, they rerun on
but it's a rerun. Yeah.
And
But
that's
I'm
what
talking like live. I'm talking about the live broadcast. Like,
but you're going up against the pro nationals that are all day.
but I mean, are you really going up against them, or is it just another option?
I think you're going up against them.
You could also go like the ESPN Plus route.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I guarantee you that there would be just as many people tuning into a GNCC race as there is any college baseball game.
Right.
We need Dave Despain to come back.
Dave Despain.
That's what we need. That dude, Dave Despain on the Speed Channel, was probably the height of what motocross got watched on TV.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. It's crazy. It's so funny when you say speed, because that makes me feel really old, because speed hasn't been around.
I have no idea.
In a long time.
They used to do the Versus channel too.
Yeah,
we had
Versus,
GNCC on the Versus channel.
Yeah. But I'm just looking at it from like where my profession is.
Well,
you know,
right. Like,
and I'm not gonna, if I was MX Sports, I'm already paying for a primetime TV spot.
Right.
With Peacock, even though Peacock is horrible, and I hate that I can't rewind and I have to wait and listen to Ricky more than once on a live broadcast. But there's not really anything during the heart of our racing on Sundays that you're going up against.
So you're saying pros should be on Sundays then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the track's already the worst. Why give them the best track? They're the pros, Devin. Get the worst track.
I don't give a crap what the track
I know,
conditions
see?
are.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
what I'm
still be
saying.
there racing as long. I think the benefit would be that we would be able to make more money. There would be more opportunity. Maybe not make more money, but there would be more opportunities. So, like, instead of the quad guys on Saturday, at the end of the day, we get screwed because on Saturday we have the most eyes on us, but we get the least amount of help. But then you got the dirt bike side that because people buy more dirt bikes because there's more options out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to buy more dirt bikes. There's more things to buy. So if somebody would come back out with some more four wheelers and make it competitive, then maybe we would have a chance. But even with that being said, we get screwed because we get the most eyes put on us. And if you watch a Racer TV live at the end of the day on Sunday, who's really there to watch these guys?
Right.
There's there's not really that many people left.
Right.
Yeah.
So they might have some people on the broadcast, but where's the crowd coming from?
That's why I'm saying Saturdays is because the crowd has to be there because they're going to be there for their race on Sunday.
Yeah, but to go with Doug, if we race on Sunday with the dirt bike guys, they're already drawing more money.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't really know.
I
But
can't watch the pro dirt bikes live. I don't know why. I can't do it. I will sit in my trailer and stream it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. Like
It's because they just go so fast. You just
that might be it. That, and if you stand by the track, like if you're within 100 feet of it, you still run the risk of getting hit.
Right.
Because those dudes go everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And having 2 kids, and they absolutely love being at the racetrack anyway.
Let me ask you this: in today's day and age of streaming abilities, is YouTube just as good of an option as any other streaming platform, like Peacock or ESPN Plus?
99% of my races, no matter what the series is, on YouTube. Basically, if they don't have a YouTube, I'm probably not going to watch it.
Right. Racer TV's done an amazing job anyways.
Oh yeah.
If we just combine them back with Racer TV and then you can upload it, because let's be honest, most of the time, not everybody's going to have to sit down and have 8 hours. Like me, like Redbud this weekend, right? I was at the racetrack. I was racing my own race. So when I came back, when I got home that night and I could barely sit down from being hurt, I just flipped it on and watched a rerun. So
yeah,
most of your fans that are watching on TV are going to watch reruns. Who's really going to sit down beside you crazy NASCAR people? But those people really only watch the last 20 laps, 30 laps, or whatever. So
they wait until the next day so they can hear about the wrecks, and then they just watch those.
Right. You know what I mean? So
not all of them.
Not all of them.
That's coming from the circle track side. I know a lot of people.
My dad was
all 500 miles.
My dad every Sunday.
Back in the 90s. I used to as a kid. I loved watching it.
Grant says he could watch some GNCC before NASCAR or NFL. Saturdays are too busy to sit and wait for a race. So
yeah, that's what I said. Saturdays you're going to watch replays. If it's on Saturday, Sunday, I might be able to catch. I'll be honest. I'm not going to sit there and watch 6-7 hours of GNCC racing. I got to mow the grass.
Oh, I do that on Sundays when I'm driving back from the track anyway.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're driving back, so you're watching.
I'll watch me, and it's usually Austin that's with me. We're both on 2 different devices, him in the back, and then I'm listening to it up front. It's the pro quads, so that I can fast forward through all them commercials.
Right. That's what I do.
And then it's
too,
pro
right?
bike, so I can, and then I'll usually catch maybe the last 30 minutes or something where I have to listen to the commercial.
Right.
And stuff.
But I'm just saying, if you're at home and you're you're gonna flip it on. Who's really gonna watch? 7 or 8 hours?
And here's the thing: it's like if you're at home and you're gonna flip it on, the only thing that I have against Sundays is you are losing. Regardless, you're going to lose all of the amateur ATV and all the amateur bike guys to watch the pro races.
we
Might.
Yeah.
Definitely would.
So I've thought about this as we've been sitting here. And if you put both pro races on the next day, it would be no different than having a 250 and 450 pro day for MX.
Right.
Yeah.
So even though they've already had their race done. They still might be more intrigued to stay and watch just because they know that both pro races are going to happen at the same time.
I mean, I'm staying regardless if I'm in the industry or not, because I know a lot of guys that are going to be racing on Sunday. You know, like a lot of friends that already race in the afternoon race on like ATVs or bikes. Like I'm hanging out. Like I tell my kids all the time, like whenever the homies come by, we got to get loud, you know?
Right.
Like,
So let me ask you a question. How cool would this be? Like let's say whatever day it is, we do go pro ATVs, pro bikes. How cool would it be to, like, every other race you swap them? Like first, like let's say this week you run the bikes first.
Try running the bikes before the ATVs, and they all got.
It doesn't work as
that
well.
the ATVs go first, but we blow off so much of the track, and then when the bikes went first, everybody was complaining that the track wasn't like completely prepared.
Right.
And I'm like, you should see it when we get off of the youth sections in the morning on Saturday. Like nobody really knows where we're going, you know. But and I've raced in a series locally that I have to follow the bikes.
Right.
If you think ATVs tear up the track, follow a bike race with a creek in it.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Ruts.
So
huge ruts.
But the thing is,
there's a big debate on that.
Like watching, like coming from like we've both raced a lot of mountain states. Like they do run bikes first.
Yeah.
And
you do in Ohio too.
I'm going to be honest. Like I kind of liked it because
it depends on the track. It really, if it's soft,
I mean,
dirt bikes will dig a 10-foot hole.
No. I agree, but that just brings a different element to the race. You have to be patient and let the race develop for the first lap or so.
I mean,
and then you're good.
Probably the first lap, like at a GNCC, most of those lines are getting covered in, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But as far as an ATV guy, like it would force
mind them swapping back and forth
because
the best of both.
How often do we hear these pro guys say like we run the same thing every year? This would make it different, right, Brandon?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like you get a track that hasn't been touched by a quad, it's going to make it different for the bike guys, and then vice versa. You get a quad race where like, man, there's bike ruts everywhere. Like they're going to have to slow down and really choose their lines for the first lap or so to get the lines cut in.
I think it's really 50-50. I mean, I've talked to a lot of bike guys and I've talked to a lot of quad guys and we've had them on the show and some of them said like, oh man, like I couldn't imagine riding the track without a quad on it first, right? Just clearing all the leaves. Because like as a dirt bike rider, especially when leaves start covering the ground, you can't see pine needles or sticks. That stuff gets dangerous a little bit, you know, and you can't really see the ground, what's underneath. You know, I mean, I don't know how many people we've seen take a stick to the calf because it just pops up and gets you, right?
So, I know a lot of, I won't mention any names, but there's a lot of fast dirt bike guys that will make the argument that anybody that tells you they would rather race before the four-wheelers doesn't know how to ride.
Right.
Because they say that we go out there, we build berms that you can actually use. And even though there is a couple places that might be slick, the track's cleaned, the berms are there, they already have a line they can use. And then like on some of the off-camber sections, some of the ruts we make and stuff, they rely on those.
Oh, yeah. Especially
so
off-camber bottoms.
The argument has been made to me before that it's good for dirt bikes to go after the four-wheelers, even though there's a lot of people that complain about it and say that it's slick because of all of the other benefits that come with that.
Right.
On the flip side of that, I don't care either way.
Ruts too. Like on the off cambers, I like when the dirt bikes make the ruts because I can hang my tires in it. Like it's still nice. That's what I think they should do what Rodney was saying. Do it every other weekend. Swap it off. We run an even number of races anyway.
Right.
6 and 6.
So I've done it. I've done both ways. Yeah. I've ran mountain state races and I've run New East Coast all the time. And I don't really care. I just like riding my four-wheel. I don't really care.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But I know what arguments will be made and what arguments won't be made.
Right.
And I know that there's going to be a lot more chaos on the days that the dirt bikes go first for the ATV guys, just because if you get into those soft spots, the ruts that the dirt bikes leave are going to make it difficult for some of the guys to be able to figure out how to navigate that.
But that's
But-
GNCC. That's the
Oh, yeah.
that's like that. You know,
Like following trail.
I didn't say it's not. I said that's going to be some of the arguments.
right? No, but and that's
Yeah.
my argument to those people making those arguments. Like you're racing the world's toughest series for a reason.
Yeah.
Like so you know you can't brag about like, oh, I raced the GNCC series and I deal with the conditions and then complain about the conditions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's a cool way to make it a little bit different.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know. The first race, just do ATV Pro and then Bike Pro, and then whoever the top 5 have them stand at the end with a hat, pick them out. You guys get to pick your own tracks. Who
Yeah.
goes first?
Yeah. Well,
like why not?
With that being said, though, like I get that like the women's pro dirt bikes, like I know that they like having their own race, but at the same time, man, they deal with a ton of traffic, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's tough on them.
Right.
And the same thing goes with the 4x4s and the pro women's ATV race. I think what I would love to see is all of the pros
all
in the same race.
What I say is,
Well, let's be honest. A lot of the women pros on both sides can beat a handful of the A-class guys without trying too hard.
No, I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
I agree. And
they
like,
deserve to be in the afternoon with the coverage.
my thoughts are for Devin, for like the ATVs, bump the B classes
down to
the morning or to the
next day,
the amateur race.
Yeah.
Bump
Yep.
the B classes, the amateur
And then
race.
bring 4x4 Pro and WXC.
Yes.
have all
and-
the A's.
Yes, have all the A's, 4x4 Pro, WXC, and the PM.
Yep.
How do you want to start those? You want to put the pros in the front, or do you want to put XC1, XC2, A class, and then 4x4 Pro and WXC?
I would just put the A's in the back, let all the pro
Yeah,
classes
put the
start
A's.
first.
I'll put pros up front.
Yep.
Just because
They're
you know,
Probably
they're pros.
XC1, XC2, 4x4.
I would say 4x4 Pro
4x4
and then
women.
WXC,
Yeah.
just
And
based
then
off.
the
I would do it
A-class.
based off results, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
4x4
I mean,
Pro
if
usually
they're all
finishes in
there-
front.
Right.
If
Not all
they're
the time.
in there.
Well, 4x4
have
Pro
them
takes
line
off
up by-
first, don't they? I mean,
Yeah.
they always take off first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so XC1, XC2, 4x4 Pro, women's quads, and then I know then you rotate through your A classes.
Yeah.
Well, right now we only rotate 2 lines.
Okay.
So like college A and junior A rotate, and then senior A and vet A rotate.
Okay.
I think I rotate with like 6 other classes. I never know what line I'm going to be. starting.
Well, it used to be all the A classes rotated.
Yeah.
And then they started doing it based off of the results. So like vet A and senior A would finish in a certain place,
Yeah.
and then college A and junior A finished in a certain place. So instead of rotating everybody, they just started saying, okay, well, there's not very many of these guys that are finishing
Yeah.
up here, so we're just going to move them back.
That's what
And
makes the
then-
most sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Well,
But-
the
but-
argument was made at one of the races this year that vet A should be rotated.
Yeah.
And I guess the answer they got back was, okay, we will rotate vet A
If you beat 'em.
if you finish on the overall amateur podium today.
That's-
And I guess everybody looked at Nick Davidson and said, well, I guess you're up.
Yeah. Right. That's even rotating in the mornings, like the biggest complaint that I have is when you get stuck behind like the 4x4C guys, because even running like a vet C, like we're running up on those dudes, and it's very hard to pass those Can-Ams.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it seems like if you do take a split line to try to like get around them real quick, they're just like burp,
Just
and then you end up T-boning them.
Yeah.
You know, that's really my only, when I see those guys line up in front of us,
Yeah.
I'm like,
But and how cool would it be though to be able to see like let's say we get a big mutter, like we had at the John Penton.
like Iron Man 19 and 20.
Yeah, right. And,
Mammoth, Kentucky.
and you see like, okay, like man, could we see a 4x4 take the overall
Take the overall,
today?
yeah.
Like I think that those guys could 100% take the overall
yeah.
in the right
Man, those
conditions.
dudes freaking haul
You
anyway.
I mean-
figure most of them are, or not most of them, a handful of them are still XC1.
right.
XC1
XC1
pros.
guys. Yeah.
And then to be honest with you, like I would personally like to see like how those guys would stack up
Mhm.
just on a regular day.
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all such good riders.
Yeah.
Like,
Most of those guys came from like most of the guys that are currently
Oh, yeah.
like because
Landon. Cody.
They came from the XC2,
Cody still
XC1.
races a sport quad with us in Ohio. He'll show up and he still throws down on a stock machine. He's like a woods ninja. You can't hear him. And then all of a sudden there's like a flash of blue and like lime green. And you're like, there goes Cody.
Right. So I would love to see like what those guys could do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they would love the opportunity too as well.
I mean, could you imagine like them taking the overall?
Yeah.
I went on a mud race, like Bryson Neal and like Walker Fowler and all those guys would be like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. Well, and then the thing is like kind of going back to the women, the WXC wanting that AM race. My argument to that is like you're not getting any TV coverage at all.
Yeah.
No.
Like, so I get that you get announced, like, and I don't see why you shouldn't get announced still.
Right. I mean, there's
because you're a pro class.
Yeah.
Like maybe this makes the intros go a little bit longer, but you still should be announced, right?
Yeah.
And the TV coverage would still cover you.
Right.
Like you're not just because you're like maybe not.
And people will still be at the podium for you too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it would probably be even a bigger crowd because it's all pro day.
Absolutely.
And, you know, everybody's there at the podium wanting to see it.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I'm for whatever is going to bring more money to the sport.
Right.
So if it gives us an opportunity to be able to make a living at racing that we can't currently do, then I'm for it.
Yeah.
Because right now you can race a dirt bike and be an average dirt bike rider and make a living.
Right.
If you ride an ATV, you're not making a living unless you're like B. Neal.
Right.
Yeah.
Adam McGill. There's literally there's only like a handful of people that race for a living now.
Yeah.
I think it's like the top 7 pros. Well, not even all 7 of them this year.
Jared McClure, he works.
Yeah.
He works for Jeff Pickens.
Right.
Yeah.
Bryson Neal races. Adam McGill races.
Fowler.
Ronnie Rush, I think he pretty much just races.
Well, I mean, he's a young guy.
Yeah.
He's probably, you know.
I'm not sure.
He's
I know.
what is Ronnie now? Like 21 or something?
Yeah.
He's super young. He looks
Yeah.
like he's still 15.
I know, right? That's it.
But
it messes me up.
I don't know if he helps his dad with because they own the Bulletproof Doors company.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he helps his dad run that or whatever, but he does a lot of riding and stuff. So he's at least somewhere in between.
Right.
We'll say.
Abney, Jay Shad. I can't remember if Wyatt is working or not.
Yeah. Abney's a welder.
Yeah.
Jay Shad, he does construction and road work and
everything.
Yeah. He pretty much does anything that makes money.
Yeah.
Does his own four-wheeler stuff.
Same way.
Yeah.
You know, Wyatt, he does odd stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is like, who wants, like, as a GNCC fan, right? Like we all like, oh, 2 days isn't too bad, but like as just like a family is like, hey, they're at High Point this weekend. You want to go spend a day there at the pros and just watch all the pros? Like,
yeah.
Like who wants to go and like, oh man, all right, I'm gonna go watch the quads on Saturday. Oh wait, there's bikes on Sunday too. Like, oh,
yeah, now you're gonna drive back.
I want to drive back, or
That's
try to
actually
get a hotel.
When we were at High Point, we had a hotel and I ran into, they had like a convention. It was a bunch of like younger guys or something like that. And they're like, what are we going to do tomorrow? You know, like the convention's done, but we're still stuck here over the weekend. I'm like, come out to the race. Like, cause like, I think me and the boys were all like dudded out in race gear, you know? And they're like, oh, you know, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, well, who's racing? I was like, well, the quads race on Saturday and the bikes on Sunday. And they're like, well, which one do I go to? Because I don't want to go to both.
And they're not going to go. They're not going to go to both. Right.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, like this time of age is like, as a family, right? Like you want to have that one good family day.
Yeah.
You know, as we all know. I mean, you know, it's like, man, I'll spend one day at the track. Yeah. But getting the wife and the kids, well, I mean, the kid will probably like want to go back. But getting the wife, we're like, all right, now we're going to go back for a second day.
Oh, my wife hates the Nationals because we're there. Well, the close ones were there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
You know, so that's 4 days.
Yeah.
4 out of 7 days that I'm there. And Thursday and Friday, I'm running around talking to everybody. Saturday, I'm getting those guys set up on the track. And then I race like immediately after. And then I'm back out to help whatever pro rider might need help because something happens, you know, whether it's gas or glucose or goggles or just there saying, you know, you're real close, keep going.
Right.
So I'm gone all Saturday, and then Sunday is kind of the same way. Like I still have a lot of like friends that race dirt bikes, you know, so we're there until like halfway through the pro race.
Yeah.
And my wife hates it. And then we go race like the Ohio Series or IXCR or A-Works or anything like that. And it's just one day, boop, boop, everything fits in the bed of the truck. Let's go.
Right. I mean, and let's be honest too. I mean, like, if you don't go into the woods and find a really good spot,
oh yeah,
it's kind of torturous to sit there.
Oh yeah,
beside the tree. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like that's the hardest part, especially for like, all right, you're sitting there, all right, they're going by, and like if you don't go to like find a hill climb, or if you don't go find a mud hole or something cool to kind of like watch these guys go through, it kind of, I don't want to say it gets boring, but to me it doesn't. But like to an average person, can get boring.
I think if
you have to have friends on the track for it not to be boring.
Correct.
If you were going to do all the pros on one day, you could put in a pro only section,
right?
Like,
oh yeah,
close to the parking.
To
not
make
something
go crazy.
Yeah, like
yeah,
give
like that
Echols
log
all
section.
the signs and figure it out.
Well, just like at Mason Dixon, they had that log section, right?
Yeah.
Like if it was an all pro day, that log section could have stayed in all day. And
if they would have set those better, that would have been an awesome section
to sit and watch. Right.
I had fun hitting it the first time, and then we came back through and they sent us around it because we had knocked all the.
Yeah, they were all over the
every
place.
15 quads was one log shorter, and then eventually they just took them all.
So there's a lot of potential, right, in our theory.
Yeah.
You know? So Tim Carter, if you guys are listening,
Stu had the right idea though.
Yeah.
Put a committee together of riders.
Oh yeah.
That can actually go into meetings with GNCC and those guys and be able to do this. So, like, if you're thinking dirt bikes, you're thinking Stu is probably the best marketing guy on that side of the sport.
Yeah,
it could be.
He's
probably the best marketable guy.
person.
Yeah. And then, like on the ATV side, you have Hunter Hart and Adam McGill they're pretty marketable because they do the most videos and things like that to actually get the sport
Wyatt
out
and
there.
McGill, I would probably say are the two like people's champs right now.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Wyatt's good at it. Like, we have a few guys on the ATV side that if it was, hey, let's make a committee, then we'd be like, those are the guys that we want to represent us because they're going to push for the most stuff that we can get.
Yeah.
Right.
And then on the dirt bike side, also, like, you're going to find 2 or 3 good guys on the dirt bike side.
Oh yeah.
But you don't want just like dirt bike guys or just
Jesse
ATV
Ansley
guys. You want to split that.
Yeah.
So that way they can both come together and find the best solution that fits everybody's needs.
I don't know if necessarily you want the factories to represent themselves there.
Right.
I think it would have to be like a rider only committee and leave like the factories and the team managers out of it.
Yes. Yep.
So,
Yep. I think we're all on the same page. Except for maybe the day part.
Right.
I'm still on the Saturday train because I just feel like the optics of, like, if you do have it on TV, whether it's just the YouTube or whatever it would be.
See, I'm looking at like actually like prime time on the TV.
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, I don't know how close we are to that, but what I'm saying is as optics, right? Like, you want.
Well, just usually
if you
everybody
have the camera
has
there.
Saturday free. Usually, like that's like a day for like.
Yeah.
It just seems like Sunday people go to church, whatever.
I'm cleaning quads.
Yeah, like cleaning quad. Like people are just like have like that relaxed day on Sunday.
I just don't
Saturdays
think
like that.
I think your amateurs are going to leave after their race on Saturday.
Right.
Right. So my thing is if you put the pros on Saturdays, you're going to have the optics of having the max capacity of people. Now, you are going to have amateurs that just show up on Sunday and race, but for the most part, you're going to have your max capacity there for your pro races, which I think should be the goal, right? You should want to have like the bikes having literally nobody there when their race is finishing up besides the people on the track.
Has to be disappointing.
That has to be disappointing. Like, you know, I know that these guys are they're riding the track and they're seeing these trucks and trailers hauling out, right? There's a line of people leaving and they're halfway through the race.
Yeah.
Well, like, whereas if they, like, let's say this weekend, they start at the 11 a.m. hour instead of the ATVs go off afterwards. They're going to have the most people there. They'll probably the first time they do that, if they do that, and we'll take credit for it fully.
Right.
I guarantee you the bikes will have the biggest podium showing of fans they've ever had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But that's also not saying much. You could have 50 people there, and it's the biggest showing
right,
they've ever had.
I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. I bet you that they would have hundreds of people there.
Right. I think what they need to do is like take like a race, like maybe an Ironman at the end of the year, and just try it. Right?
Yeah. What's the harm? What's the harm in trying it?
Just try one race, and like, oh man, that really worked great. Let's do it all next year.
I don't even know if I would do one race. I would probably just say one season.
Right? Just go
You
one
know?
season. Yeah.
That's I mean, the whole off-road market right now is low. It's back down to where it was in like 18, 19.
Right.
So
I wouldn't.
Why not try it? Like we tried bikes on Saturdays in 2016.
Right.
I mean, it was kind of a shit show.
Yeah.
Like at the same time, just try it, dude.
Right.
Like you don't know what's going to happen unless you try it.
Right.
I wouldn't say if you are going to do one race, I wouldn't do it at like Ironman or something like that, because you're guaranteed to make money at those races anyway.
Or Big Buck.
Yeah,
Big
like
Buck is too hectic anyway.
there's going to be a crowd there to begin with, regardless of what's going on. So like you want to pick one that's not your lowest race, but one that has
Coker.
Coker would probably be a good one. Something like that, where it's not your highest race of the year, but it's also not rock bottom turnout.
Right.
It would have to be one of the middle southern races, because there's way more people in the woods up north with all these crazy hillbillies running around than there are people in the south. I can tell you that. Like, in fact, when we race the southern rounds, the only ones I ever really see in the woods are the guys that I see almost every weekend anyway. It's like the guys that I recognize that already, like, their kids are racing, you know, like I know their kids and I know they're on the track, or, you know, like the local guy, not the local guys, but like the local to me guys, you know, stuff like that. And that's all really the southern races. Like, we don't get a lot of local crowds at the southern races. I don't think. It doesn't feel that way, at least.
Yeah.
Compared to up here.
I just know I just like the woods in the south.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Coker has still been my favorite track all year.
I like that open stuff.
If GNCC had an asphalt track, Brandon be all over.
Oh man,
dude, I would
bring the Harley down.
I can't. You freaking prick.
Go race TT.
Dude, I wish I could. I don't know, on a bike. I'm okay on a bike.
Just get a hot shoe and lean into it.
But like,
all right.
But like a quad TT, I can get down with that all day. Like, I just never
I
wanted to
love
build
that
a bike because you have to have two separate bikes. But
whatever.
Yeah.
That's
Shane dogged the crap out of it.
Well, what was it? Coker. I think I almost hit you at Coker when I blew the turn. Was that there was some guy with a beard that was standing there like an idiot?
What wasn't me? I saw you go through the turn though, because our pit was right there in the turn, and I saw you coming through, and I was like, "Oh, I don't think he's gonna make that turn."
I didn't try.
And then they took off running, and I was like, "Yep, he definitely did not make the turn."
Nope. I came in. I was like top of third. And I was like, I ain't making this. So I just tried to keep it as straight as possible, because I saw that swamp right there. I was like, I ain't going in that, and I'm not going to flip it. I'm not going to lose it right now. But it was like, I think that race would probably be the best, because everybody's already there to hang out. Like, Coker is an amazing facility to begin with.
Well, they have the ponds, all the fishing stuff. They have rope swings and towers to jump off of.
And it's a track that you can run both, and it's no more destroyed either way.
Yeah,
bikes and quads.
It's going to
just
suck
sand.
away.
Yeah, it's just bottomless sand anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't really. You don't get like even if the dirt bikes race before us, it wouldn't be like, oh, there's dirt bike ruts. It just be
fills in.
Yeah, it'd just be 8 out. Like,
if all you want to do is see how it works and see how your audience works, like on a macro picture, that would probably be the best track to try it at, because you're eliminating almost all the other variables.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Tim Cotter, make it happen.
Right.
I think if they need a good argument, just listen to the last hour of the show.
That's right. The last hour.
Yeah.
Tell Tim to get us in the room.
That's right.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Oh, I can argue pretty good.
Tell Tim just to listen to the show. We'll be good.
Yep. We can discuss this topic more next weekend when we're at the Sunstar.
It's the 15th. Next weekend is the 8th.
Well, I mean, that's this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This week. Not this weekend. Next
Speaking of that, what do you guys, I know you guys talked about it, I think at the beginning of the season, a wives and girlfriends pit bike race for fun. You think we might be able to make that happen at the Sunstar Ride Day?
Well, Devin won't be there.
I was gonna say I can't because we got
the birthday
party.
But your opinion is still
we
counts. You were the original.
Are there pit bikes available?
I
You have to bring your own.
I can get one.
Lauren works, but she said she might try to get off. Who knows? But it would be really like she'd probably have to have a TRX 90 like quad.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I would open it up to like
anything,
everyone.
Yeah.
Just as long as I think maybe below 110 would be a 110 and below is what I consider a pit bike.
Yeah. That'd be pretty fun.
Hey,
yeah.
Does the track have mics and speakers?
Yeah, they have a full PA system.
Okay, so if you can arrange that, Brandon and I,
what are we doing?
We'll announce the race.
We'll announce the race.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll announce the race
and record it.
Because I mean, I don't have a 90 for my wife to race unless somebody wants to let me borrow one.
I have a 120.
I don't have a 90.
She has a 125.
That's too big. That's not a pit bike.
Trust me, she ain't getting out of first gear.
Yeah, I just taught my wife how to start the 50s. We're not to the 90s yet.
Well,
but
she's gonna put it in first gear, and then the first turn she comes to, she's gonna be like.
But I figured for like the general public, like it might be kind of fun. Maybe set up like a little rodeo thing. So what happened is when I bought the kids Stasics, I was talking to the local Stasic guy, and he actually contacted corporate and put it up as like a Stasic like event, like a real event.
Oh,
so now I got to build a Stasic course. So I was thinking if I already buy the stakes and stuff, maybe I could just set up like a little mini rodeo course for some pit bikes or something like that. You know,
we should do some barrel racing.
I don't know if I can get any barrels.
I mean, I can bring a 55-gallon drums.
But it's
what's it take? 3?
I don't know.
3 drums for barrel racing, right, Devin? I knew Devin would know.
That's what they do at the fairs and stuff.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I dated a barrel racer for a while. Never went to one.
Wild.
Sorry, Alana.
Sorry, Alana.
But it's I'm just trying to come up with like fun things to do, you know, and I already got it broken down. Like the kids are gonna go out separate,
right?
You know, we'll probably do it pretty close to the way like a lot of the series do it, where it's like I think I have it at anyone 14 or under is on the track at once, and then 14 and above. And then if we get enough people, I actually have it where I can break it down by classes and stuff like that too. So it'd be like C class and B class guys, A class, pro class guys. That's all the classes, you know. So because if you're A class, you're probably not too far off from pro or something anyway. You know, like I'm trying to keep them to about the same.
Right.
Hey, Levi and Brandon Owens had a pretty good battle over the
I saw
weekend.
that.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
Levi Cohen is a beast, though.
Did you see that?
He's really good at those tracks.
Yeah, well, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Like,
and his bikes are set up exactly for those.
Oh, yeah.
Levi about killed a little girl. Did you see that?
I did see that.
But it's
talk about me. At least I didn't land on her.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't his fault though. Brandon intimidating with the. It was
he never let off.
It was a whole big thing.
He never lifted.
He didn't want to.
He did not.
He didn't want to back down.
He was like, "I'm jumping over her."
B. Owens raced a dirt bike too. I guess he did okay. Like not super well, but not horrible.
I've heard he's okay on a dirt bike.
Yeah, that's I was talking, or I was.
I don't think he's Cole Richardson good on a dirt bike. From
dude, Cole is surprisingly good on a dirt bike.
Mm-hmm.
Like he seems like he rips.
Oh yeah. Maybe he needs to go ride with Echols.
Yeah.
That's
cool. Oh geez,
the talent level.
Wouldn't that be funny? Like
Echols
that's what we should do. We should have a quad guys got to race bikes. One for a GNCZ and a bike guy has to race a quad for a GNCC.
Hey, Echols raced ATVs.
Yeah.
He ran
do a team race like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
like a team GP.
Yeah,
one bike, one quad.
I'm all about. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah,
MX versus ATV, huh? In real life.
Yeah. We used to do that pyramid. Mitch Ward and Shane Dog Hit would be out there.
I've ridden with a lot of bikes when I've been on my quad, and the opposite when I've been on my bike. Like it's just remember you can't hit each other.
Right.
Yeah, it's not
that would
it's
be
not
the
that bad.
scary part.
No, it's really not.
That'd be the scary part. Like no offense to all the quad guys. I'm one of those guys, but
not anymore.
I couldn't imagine coming through like a corner on a bike and then just here and just quad and just TTing around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
With
just
my luck, I would have
picking your
somebody
ass
like,
out, like
Wyatt or somebody right behind me on
yeah.
the quad when I'm on my bike, and they're
It
just,
just-
like, "Whoa."
yeah.
So
I'm like XC1 guys.
So for me, the ATV dirt bike thing is easy because when I was growing up, my brother always rode dirt bikes. So anytime I would ride, it was usually with dirt bike guys.
Oh yeah.
So I got used to it, and then same thing for them. Like they got used to me being there,
Right.
but it wasn't bad at all.
I know
Like,
one
That's
thing.
a lot of MX tracks. If they do MX or bikes and quads, they'll just do open practice. 450s go out with 250s and 450s.
Right.
Dude, like just go.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, Breezewood's like that. Like it's just all
Free
like
for
a
all.
free for all.
And
And
if
but it's really cool because he has like
horrible
the
ever
lines.
really happens.
Right.
You know?
Like the inside lines are really cool because like bikes can hit the ruts and then the quads go on the outside and rail
Yeah.
the corner. But yeah.
Just as long as
ready
everybody's
to-
on the same page, it's not bad.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Speaking on the same page, your eyes look a little sleepy,
Yeah.
Brandon.
It's 10:24, man.
You ready to call her quits?
I'm ready. You guys ready?
Oh yeah, he's ready.
Ready.
Too. He's
Hey, I tell you what,
staring
he's
at
been
me.
a champ.
I know.
Been a
He
champ.
has been a
He
champ.
is.
Mine left hours ago.
He was trying to get my attention earlier. Like, Dad, can we leave yet?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
1 second. 1 second turned into an hour.
Right. It's the way it works around here.
All right,
yeah.
Brandon.
It's sucked in.
You got 4 minutes and 3 seconds.
I can do that. Doug, appreciate you guys coming down.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's always a
awesome.
blast.
Devin, appreciate you coming in, and Ryan Echols for coming on the show. It's always a good one. Guts Racing seat covers, guys. If you're not running them, like Doug and Devin here, if you want to be on the podium, you need to be running a Guts Racing seat cover.
That's right.
Devin, that's your problem. Anyways,
won't be this week.
it's not the Suzuki.
And not the Suzuki. It's
It's the seat cover. Guys, anything you need from them, seat foam, anything you want, go over and check them out. Customization, check them out. Steel Sabers, 25 years, bike, quad, UTV, mountain bike. If you want to save coils, anything like that, forks, boots, water from your boots, hand palm sabers, save 25%. Code SPLITLINE, capital S, save 25%. And guys, also Magna One Motorsports, couldn't do it without them. They're our title sponsor of the show. MagnaOneMotorsports.com. Use that website, please. Use bikes, helmets, goggles, gear, and more. Tracks out at any GNCC, NEPG events. Magna One's Magna One Clean It, revolutionary cleaning product for your dirt bike, ATV, or anything else you take to the track on the weekend. Look them up. Need it if you need anything. Split line free ride, baby. Sunstar Chain Sprockets, guys, the best chain sprockets that you could probably buy. That's made. It's all I trust. It's all Devin trusts. Cooper when he rides, that's what he trusts.
I'm about ready to start. Listen, I'm about ready to start putting in
Hey, I only got 4 minutes. Don't interrupt me.
more hours than you can even comprehend, Brandon.
Oh my gosh.
Because I know I'm.
Hey, just like
I-
there's like 1,000-hour mountain bikes you're going to put in, and you put in what?
No, it was 1,000 miles.
Oh, was it miles?
1,000 miles.
So you only got like 50 miles?
No, I got 500.
Oh, halfway.
Yeah.
So he's going to get halfway
That's
to
all-
his goal on racing.
Yeah.
That's still a lot.
Yeah. Thanks, Doug. On a mountain bike, not a road bike,
Oh,
mountain bike.
Don't compliment him.
Yeah, don't pump his it. Look,
I just
Look,
volunteer
you
here.
took all that time away. Anyways, Sunstar Chain Sprockets, guys, best there ever is. Run them. If you want to finish a race, run them for sure. Durability is what they rely on over there a lot, and performance. So if you guys want to get some, use the code SPLITLINE30. Please use that code. And they're made of case hardened steel,
Baby.
And we're coming out with a new stainless one that I'll have to call you guys when I get
Stay-
the production run in my hand.
Yeah,
Stay tuned.
that'd be sick. Heck
Give
yeah,
the quad guys some love,
yeah, heck yeah,
That's what
man.
I'm talking about.
right?
And then over to Mountain State Hare Scramble, guys. There's a race this weekend in Pleasants Creek. One of the pretty cool tracks to hood up. One of my favorites. It's where I got my first trophy in the woods.
Nice.
Yeah. 6th place trophy, but it's still a trophy. That's right. Imagine how many people were in that class that I had to get 6th place trophy.
7.
At least 18.
It's every 3 riders.
In this day and age, it could
It's
only be
just
6
a-
people.
Really?
Everybody gets a trophy.
Not when I had to earn it. But anyways, guys, Mountain State Hare Scramble Series are one of the better series in West Virginia. if not the best.
The best.
And Richie Nolan and those guys always put on a great weekend of racing. So go check them out. And that's it, man. Is that
Episode 121 for Devin, Brandon, Doug, myself, Rodney Cooper, and Ryan Echols. We are out.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, I got away with you.